All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome. Okay. Somebody's phone was having fun there.
Mario just got big.
All right, welcome to Car Talk Podcast number 16. Today we have a couple other YouTubers. We're waiting on a couple others to get here. They're running a little late. But off with your channel and what car you have?
Is that me? Sorry, you cut out. My name's Manny. It's KeepItRealCars. I have a bone stock, 100% bone stock, and I will not modify S2000. And my daily driver is a TSX. So I'm kind of in the Honda world. I love modified cars. I love all kinds of cars, but I enjoy my S2000, especially out here in Pittsburgh with the windy roads. It's perfect.
All right. Marco, you want to go into your channel and the vehicles you have?
Sure. Marco, CarGuy11 on YouTube. I have a 2016 C7 Corvette Stingray Z51. And I have a daily driver Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk. And I do different small mods, do-it-yourself mods, maintenance, some local car shows, and track day videos as well. So.
All right, Trevor, you want to go into your channel and the vehicles you have?
Yeah, channel's UndergroundTrev, or as I call it on the channel, the UndergroundTrev Garage. Mainly a car vlog of my cars. I've got a 2003 Jeep Wrangler, a 1991 Acura Integra, and a 1989 Camaro IROC Z. All of them modified, so each video is basically whatever the next upgrade is. And then I've got a few different product reviews and event videos that get mixed in every once in a while.
What the fuck is Martin doing?
IROC Z.
Yep.
What's up, guys?
Cool.
All right, well, perfect timing. Martin, you want to go into your channel and the cars you have?
Perfect timing, huh? So it's
yep, pretty much.
Myself?
Yep, and the cars you got.
So I have a 2006 Pontiac GTO 6-speed manual. My girlfriend has a 2014 Corvette Stingray 6-speed automatic 2LT, and we work on cars and show them off, and much like every.
All right. Yeah, I'm trying to attempt to post about all this.
Martin, where are you that it's still light outside?
That it's really what?
I said, where are you that it's still light outside? You're talking to a whole bunch of people from Pennsylvania at the moment.
I'm in New Mexico.
Hey, Pennsylvania and Maryland.
Yeah, no, I'm in New Mexico.
Maryland.
As a matter of fact, well, I don't know if you can see the mountains here, but yeah, actually.
You're at Walgreens.
Yeah, I'm at a Walgreens right now. But
What'd you say, New Mexico?
there's Mexico. Literally.
No, we get it. You're from Mexico, but you're in Mexico.
Right there.
If you're in Mexico, then where are the race cars?
Yeah.
Good point. Good point, Trevor.
Corvette.
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. Jake.
Put the camera up on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I like those center caps.
Yeah. Well, it's all Jake. Everything's Jake. Even
Yeah.
the Val.
You bought it like that, or just accessories?
No, I upgraded. I upgraded everything.
Okay.
It is factory. It's all
Right.
Yeah.
I got the Jake floor mats and cargo liner.
Yeah. See?
Yep, that's what I have.
Yep. And don't forget the tag.
Mm.
Yep. So yeah, I'm actually about to go home. My girl's picking up a little bit adult drinks here.
Well, we're all adults here, so what's the difference?
What are you drinking? What are you drinking?
There's no need. I don't really drink that often, to be honest.
Honestly, I drank once, and it was a Miller, and it was terrible.
Somebody
Here's the thing, though. The podcast the night before that happened, Trevor said that was a shitty beer, but that's all that was at my Nana's, ironically.
Well, the last podcast that I was with you and we couldn't get Conti to speak, or we couldn't.
Yeah, I know. Conti was a laggy.
Mm,
You want to drink a real beer, drink a Yingling.
there you go.
That's
Yes.
a proper
PA
beer.
beer.
Okay, well, there's multiple yeses for that one, so maybe.
That was half the reason I moved to Pennsylvania.
Didn't you live in, like, what was it, Connecticut or something?
Yeah.
Oh, I actually got that right.
Marco, your Corvette's a 1LT, right?
Mine? Yeah, 1LT.
The one, right?
Z51.
Right. Was even what I was noticing. What is there? You know, on the 2LT, where the heads-up display adjuster.
Yeah, there's a slot.
What is that?
It's just the slot, and I put my garage opener in there.
Oh, I think that's just.
The Bluetooth here. Can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
The car thought I was trying to use the speakers for the Bluetooth. So, but what was your answer again?
There's just an open slot right there. It's like a little storage slot, and I put my garage opener in there.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, because I was wondering what it was whenever you were cleaning the leather the other day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I guess those are the significant changes: the heads-up display, and
heated seats, heated and cooled seats.
heated and cooled seats.
There's a lot of stuff actually, but it was
Okay,
like
there's one question I have though. Like, what's the difference between like 1LT, 2LT, 3LT, whatever?
I can tell you, I used to work at Chevy.
Okay, well, how about you go into your channel and the cars you have since you're here now?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so yeah, the channel's Petrolhead with an underscore in there. Origin of that name is it was my Twitter handle. I made one like a long time ago. And I was like, well, I want to do a YouTube channel. I already have this name. I'll just do that. But the, yeah, so less vlog stuff on mine, more like, I guess, the traditional car review kind of channel. And just recently, because like I don't have an unlimited supply of cars to review. You know, like if I go to an autocross, I'll film that, or, you know, drift day, riding a friend's car.
One question, what's your Instagram again? Because I'm trying to tag you.
It is at the @petrol_head.
What vehicle do you have?
Oh, sorry. I have a 2000, well, my daily car that's undergoing surgery. It's a 2006 Miata, the NC Miata. And yeah, it's just spun a bearing a week ago. So yeah, so I ordered a 2.5 liter Ford motor. So I actually have a Fusion, but it bolts right up. And you gain about 40 pounds of torque, 40-ish horsepower, and it's cheaper than the Miata motor. So I'm not going to pay, you know, $2,000 to have it be the same fucking car when I'm done with it. So, so yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
so
then,
let's
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and like, there's since the one take, there's been this misconception that I'm like some guy who drives around $150,000 65 Porsche. That's my dad's car, and I said it in the video. I was like, "It's our family project," and everyone's like, "Oh, you fucking rich, cocky," and I was like, "Dude, I have a financed 2006 Miata. I'm not. I'm drinking cheap bourbon right now, so."
We were literally just talking about freaking drinks earlier.
Yeah. Well, after that traffic I just went through. No. Yeah, Portland.
Okay, so you said that you were going to explain what the whole 1, 2, and 3LT packages are on the vets?
Are they up to 3 now?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I haven't looked there in a while.
The 3LT is just basically the dash and more leather, like everything's covered in leather, like the full dash and stuff like that. So it's just that's the only real difference with the 3LT.
Look at Martin hinting over here.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I saw you pointing over there at the dash and at the armrest.
He's over here rubbing his center console.
Oh, is he in a Corvette?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
There's the air conditioning that he's missing there. For the seats.
Yeah, the heated and cooled seats is in
Right.
the 2LT.
That's what I'm showing over here on this side. So here's the cooled seats, heated seats.
Yeah, like the Stingray that I rode in, I actually didn't know it had that. Like the passenger could control its own air conditioning stuff. And I was like, well, shit, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
Like a
that's right there.
It makes sense. It's good to keep a marriage together too.
Yeah.
Because my well, I'm not married, but my fiance, she can be shivering with a blanket, and I can be sweating my absolute ass off, and I'm like, we're not the same species of animal here, because like, yeah. But so now I like the dual zone thing because it's like, all right, that's your shit. You do that, and you leave mine alone. So
yeah, because the Corvette Stingray that I rode in last Friday was a 3LT, and it had like the spice red interior.
Mm-hmm.
It actually looked pretty good. It had the 8-speed automatic, and it was really cool.
Do you guys like that, the 8-speed?
I haven't drove it, but riding in it, it seemed pretty decent.
Okay. Because I reviewed one, but I don't think it was a Z51, and it had the 8-speed, and I liked it.
Yeah, the one I rode in wasn't a Z51. It was just the regular Stingray with the 3LT.
Okay. I liked it at full, like 10/10ths, I guess, like upshifting at 10/10ths. But I thought downshifting once in a while, it kind of felt like it upset the car, which is scary because you can get going very fast in one of those cars, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, we didn't get that fast when we did pools on the freeway, which, do remember, video coming soon of all this. But literally, when he did the pool the first time, my head, like, you know the piece that starts like the back of the hatch? That's right behind your head? Well, my head went bonk right off of it as he floored it.
Like, have you been?
Because like my head was touching the ceiling the whole time.
Has anyone been in a Tesla and had someone launch it?
Yes.
Oh.
It's
okay,
like,
Trevor.
It's unpleasant.
Yeah, actually, I met a guy. I was working at a Nissan dealership at the time, and this guy was traveling through a bunch of different states with his Tesla, and because Nissan has the crappy little Leaf electric car, this guy with the Tesla saw that we had a charging station, and he came like after hours, so I stayed late to let him plug in and charge. And he actually let me drive the car around a little bit. And I mean, I'll tell you, I just went half throttle in this thing, and it's like, holy crap, instant torque. I mean, it was nuts.
I actually test drove a Model X, and but it didn't have the it had ludicrous, but I think you couldn't do the whole launch control thing. But yeah, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, when they launch them hard, it's impressive.
Yeah.
The Model X is a good way to take you and your family to an accident.
Yeah.
Very quickly, I might add.
Your mother-in-law changed her underwear. She's not gonna from a car that doesn't make any noise.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing about the electric cars. Yeah, you get the instant torque, but there's just something about hearing the. You know what I mean?
There's no soul to them.
I like hearing engine.
I know, same.
I used to have a Chevy Spark EV, and that thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say an electric car sounds kind of funky. It reminds me of an RC car that you're like riding around. That you're driving, that you're driving with a controller. Like it's got this electrical spool that it does, and then of course the faster you go, the faster the whine.
Yeah.
It's very very weird. It's very.
Do you guys watch
the only whining I want to hear is from a supercharger.
Yeah. Or from a YouTube commenter. I like that.
That's a good one.
Which, by the way, is it? I know it's JA's channel. Is that how you say it? It's not like JA's channel.
JA's channel.
Because I was looking at your channel. I was trying not to fucking kill people on the way home today, and I was like, your commenters seem pretty like supportive.
Yeah, like most of them.
You got a lot of comments that are like, "Good job, man," and I'm like, "Where the fuck are these people?" Because I get the people who are like, "Oh, it's actually 5.2, not 5.1, asshole." It's like, "I'm sorry." Okay,
that's because you're in California.
I'm in Portland.
Oh.
It's all right. I did a video about changing the turn signal switch or something in my Jeep, and somebody's like, "This idiot has no clue what he's doing."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, don't you love that?
Mhm.
It just is like you wonder, like when you post a video, like you think you did so good, and you have like maybe 10 people that say, "Oh, good job, you did a good job." Then you have like 4 people who give you a thumbs down or just say you suck, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like
Mhm.
people just get online just to troll you, just to piss you off, or is it like, did you really hate it? Give me some real constructive
Mhm.
not just you suck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I never mind that. If they're like, hey, you should, in this video you didn't do as many outside shots, and we like to see that, and then I'm like, sure. But when it's like God, what was it? There was a car. It was
It's
the
just like when they're being a
XTS V Sport.
dick. There's like when there's being a dick, then they can just fuck off. But if like they're giving like constructive criticism, then yes, that's fine.
Yeah.
Usually,
And a lot
if
of
somebody
people-
tries hating on me real hard, I like to goad them into an argument.
Mm-hmm.
Because it does 2 things. Is one, it just makes me laugh because I love tearing them apart because I actually know what I'm talking about, usually. And then 2 is, you know what? It's just more comments and just driving the video up anyway. So.
Oh, I've told people that. I'm like, thank you, by the way, for yet again responding, because I just got another view. And for a small-time YouTuber, that means something.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. True. That's why, like, literally, if I'm in a group on Facebook that I can share the video, I'm sharing it there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I'm in like probably 20 different Corvette groups.
Mm-hmm.
And 20 different Mustang ones, because that's mostly what like my videos are gonna be, because I went to Corvette shows and a Mustang show. So
where are you on the map? I know you're East Coast time zone, but
Maryland.
Maryland, okay. Where is
Maryland,
everyone at? I'm sorry, I just got here and I'm like making everyone repeat themselves, but
Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh.
okay.
Yeah, I'm in Pittsburgh as well, Pennsylvania.
Oh, shit, okay.
Another Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania,
Jesus.
just outside of Williamsport. That's what I said.
I got a lot of friends in PA.
Isn't Mr. Regular from there too?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys ever met him in your travels?
I have not.
Yeah. That's on the bucket
I don't even
list.
know who he is. So
Actually, the only time I met any other YouTubers in person were subscribers of mine, and it was when I was out your way in Oregon.
Oh, really?
And I had like 400 subscribers, and these dudes actually recognized me when I had 400 subscribers. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I just had that happen for the first time last week, and I was like, nah. Like, you guys like, that's not me. You're thinking of someone else. They're like, no, that is you. And I was like, okay. That's
yeah, like I will probably have like a mini heart attack if somebody actually recognizes me. I'll be like, talking to me or something. I'm like not famous or anything.
Well, it's funny what he
nowhere
just
near
said.
that.
What he just said about that's not me. You thought it was somebody else. That's the exact same conversation I had with somebody, and they're like, "No, you're famous." Yeah, right.
Well, to be fair, it was
subscribers ain't famous.
Yeah,
isn't that what 802 Garage said?
Yeah, I think Aaron did say that. Hold on, let me check the comments real quick.
Marco, I don't know if you Pittsburgh Cars and Coffee around here.
Yeah, I go pretty regularly. Yeah.
The one, yeah, because like around here, like every time I go, I see Dr. M3.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Oh, that guy. I know that guy. Yeah.
Super WRX fan Matt.
Right.
Time, and I talk to him every time.
Yep.
Yeah, like that's where I found you. Was I think Autovlog.
Yeah, like I've seen him at numerous Cars and Coffee. I talked to him. He's like the most personable guy ever. And then he was like, "Oh, do you want to get on camera?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool to see guys like that, and they're humble, especially like even like Super Dark Matt. He's like he'll sit there and talk to you for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm friends with him. He reviewed my Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk. He did it when I first got him. Yeah. So.
Awesome. And Doc M3 always comes with like something crazy, like a crazy Lamborghini, or he brings one of his Huracans or something. It's
yeah.
Hey.
His
Doc is
a pretty cool guy.
Does that mean we're all like really skilled or really bored?
Yeah.
The question is there going to be a YouTuber meet for the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix this year? I haven't heard anything.
Was this not it?
I'm game.
Because it was last year was a big meet. TJ Hunt and Street Speed and all of them came up. Evan Shanks, all of them. So
did you guys did all of you guys hear about the whole call out thing?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what I was
Sort
about
of.
to say. As a matter of fact, I was gonna say because he called out Super WX fan.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, a tree just landed on his roof. I don't think he'll make it.
You're right.
Well, how's he gonna make it if he's giggling the whole time?
Yeah. What?
All right,
Plus, his car is kind of like
Hold
not
on.
operational right now, unless he's gotten it fixed that quick. I don't
Did he
think he's
roll
gotten
that
it
thing?
fixed
Because I saw some pictures.
It's free
No,
fall.
no,
A tree landed on it.
Okay.
Yeah, a big tree.
Yeah, he was
ran.
driving and
Like,
a
you know what?
tree just went kerplunk.
Yeah.
But he
It's like,
wasn't
I'm gonna
giggling
fuck
then.
your day up.
You know what's funny about that call
Sorry.
out? They never spoke about Ellis. They never called out JR Garage.
That's because they don't like him. That's
I
why
know
they didn't
that,
call
but that's
him out.
bullshit. That's bullshit. Whichever way he has
Like,
his cars, it
I
doesn't
think
matter.
that would have been cool if they called him out.
Yeah.
Because, then, they can put their money where their mouth is on whether, who's got the faster car.
Mm-hmm. Can someone
That's just
me up
my
on the
opinion.
call out thing? Because I saw something on Rob Ferretti's Instagram.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
somebody's got
So Street Speed 717, Guitarmageddon ZL1, and Diablo Formula Racing.
Okay.
It was at the end of Mike's last video. They're renting out Cecil County Dragway in August.
Okay.
And they're going to have a bunch of YouTubers there racing each other. He called out Rob Ferretti, who I think I was probably the first one that told him because I messaged him on Facebook the night that I saw it.
Mhm.
Then he messaged
I
me
did
and was
too.
like, I'm not driving all the way to all the way down there just for a quarter mile.
That's what
I don't blame
exactly
him.
what he
I
told
mean-
me too.
Mm.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and then I messaged my friend JD because I was actually kind of surprised they called out JD. I didn't even think they knew about him.
There's just so many
But
people
JD is like,
across the country that it seems like they're not going to be able to even make it. So it's like, are they going to call some other people out?
yeah, like JD, he told me that he's not sure because his car is currently at some shop or something, and he's not sure if he's gonna have it back by then.
Where's he live?
He's down in I think it's Front Royal, Virginia.
Mm.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. Like honestly, if I had to root for anybody in the race, if JD made it, all the way. That Mustang is badass.
You know
the
what's
500, right?
Yeah, the GT500.
Yeah, that's a nice car, man.
you know what's strange? They didn't mention Troy, their buddy Troy, with the McLaren.
I
Or
yeah,
they
I
didn't
just thought of that. Like one
Josh
person
from
I
Car-
thought they
from
would have
Justice
called
Car
out
Corner.
since he's in Pittsburgh is Mike Autovlog.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Like he has that C63.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd go out there and do that. I mean, he'd probably be down for that too.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's that far.
He lives in the
for
same
him.
area, right?
Who?
Josh from Josh's Car Corner.
No, he's in
No, he's in.
Wisconsin.
Oh,
right?
is it Wisconsin?
Wisconsin. Yeah, but he's not that.
Yeah, I think
He's
it's
still not that
Wisconsin or
far,
something.
you know. He's a lot
Yeah,
closer,
but
he's a lot
Josh is
closer than I
also
am.
a pretty small channel too.
Yeah, that's all right.
Like JD's got like 20K subscribers now.
Yeah.
So. But like there was some people I'm just like I'm surprised they didn't like I messaged Nick and I was like I'm surprised you guys didn't call out like Autovlog or I think there was somebody else I mentioned.
CarGuy11.
I might have to mention that one too.
I have no idea how you guys.
They would whoop the Stingray though, because does the Z51 have more horsepower than like?
No, it's the same.
No.
It's the same engine.
Z51?
Yeah. No, it's like got more enhanced cooling stuff, and it's got more aero,
Okay.
and it's got
It does come with the performance exhaust, though, which the Stingray that's
So-
an option.
right.
So performance exhaust, dry sump oil cooler or
That,
oil
yeah.
or dry sump pump. It has 2 additional coolers for the differential and for the transmission, and maybe a couple of additional.
It's got
His-
slotted
different-
rotors too. Slotted
yeah,
rotors.
Yeah, slotted rotors, bigger rotors actually by about an inch,
Mhm.
if I'm not mistaken. There, Matt.
Yep.
And the other
Different
thing-
gear ratios, too.
Yes. Oh,
Mm.
wider tires.
The easy cheater way to tell that I use on the C7s is if the spoiler goes the complete distance of the trunk and the rear fenders, then it's a Z51. If it's got the one that just goes over the trunk lid, then it's the non-Z51.
Well, you can get the spoiler as an option, though.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You can't. You see that?
Well, never mind then.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
hold on. I need
And
to say
even-
something real quick. 2 of
and
my
even-
subscribers are pestering me for something.
And even these, you can't tell.
Yeah. Okay. Quick
Because
shout out
you can get
to
the pack.
Logan Case and Gavin King. You guys happy? Yeesh. You guys happy now? I said your names.
And Matt's going to bed.
Yeah, and Matt's going to bed.
Anytime I see a please
now-
spelled PLZ, I think of that dude in blue where it's like, David, please.
They did. They called him out.
They did too.
Oh yeah, they did call him out
Yeah.
too.
I don't think he'll go up either. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I said you can't judge it by that either because I see it has.
Dude, I wish they would have called out Gearhead Revolution. My friend, he doesn't do that much with YouTube though. But dude, his Trans Am would whoop their ass.
The green one, right?
Yeah, the green one. That thing is a fucking beast.
Is that the one?
And he's doing more to it.
Am I mistaken, or was he the one that said that I something went wrong or something happened, or he had a picture of a bunch of money over the hood of the car, and it's like when you modify your car or something like that was the picture the tag.
I don't think so. Either he did and I didn't see it, or it wasn't him. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it was someone else, but the person that had that video said when you put too much money into your car and it has 1,000 horsepower or something like that. And he has a bunch of money laying on the hood.
I don't know. He hasn't uploaded in a while either, so that's probably why. Plus, he has less subscribers than me, I think. But that's because he doesn't put many videos out. So, okay.
What is everyone at roughly? Just for my own, I not like it doesn't matter, but I'm just. Sorry, I got here late.
374. Okay.
Oh, I just got started. I don't have much.
No, it took me 6 months to get like 90.
Yeah. Well, I'm at like probably 5.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, hey, you'll have one more after this. I'll subscribe to you.
There we go.
Years already. I'm only a little over 1,300.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like about I'm about to 1,100, so I'm kind of where you're at.
I'm at 720. 720.
You're close, dude. The 1,000 feels good. It's like, okay, maybe this can be a thing now. Yeah. When you get the little, like it's like when you, gosh, if you're on a desktop and you click on your own little avatar thing, and when it comes down, it usually says, 747 or 793. When you get to 1,000, it's just like 1K, and you're like,
oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Marco,
biggest one here.
Yeah.
I'm 4245 right now.
1445.
4,200 over 40.
Oh shit. Okay.
Okay. Now here's a topic I wanted to talk about that kind of got sparked up when I was at that Corvette show. Me and a couple of the other Corvette guys there were discussing it.
Were you arguing over Hawaiian shirts? Nah, I'm just kidding.
No, we weren't
the Aero Wagon
arguing over sports either.
That was one ugly Aero Wagon.
Oh, the C3, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, that was ugly.
There was a C3. There was a C3 Aero Wagon there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something.
It was it's different.
Of all the cars I've seen, that's definitely one of them.
I definitely cringed.
I guess you guys saw that video.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It was different, but the reason I got a decent amount of footage of it was because it was different. You're not gonna see that often.
No, it's for sure different. Yeah.
And how many of those are there in the world?
I'm not even sure. I didn't even know they existed until I saw it.
Yeah.
Well, is that a factory car or is that a custom job?
No, it was a custom job.
I don't know. Like all he said was it was done in the 70s, and I think he said that it was a 69 was what that Corvette was a 69, I think is what he told me.
Didn't he say that he picked it up, the body, and then he put the engine in there afterwards, or something like that?
Yeah, like he got it with the
like
body and the frame, and then he redid the frame, and then he put another big block in it.
As you do.
And then redid the interior and everything like that.
Yeah, do watch your stuff.
But yes, I know, Martin. Thank you.
Well, you guys seen the new version? It was a Callaway makes it.
Oh yeah.
You're right.
I'm definitely, I support that. I like that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that most people don't know about Corvettes, but Marco will know because you were the one in the Corvette, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Martin
No.
is in the
Is it Martin?
Corvette. I have a
Martin was
Corvette
in
as
it,
well.
but Marco also has a Corvette.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
it's the
don't
one
own it,
from
but
it's the
I'm
one
in
from
it.
Pennsylvania, whoever the fuck you are. But they can, which is all of you. But no, you can fit a ton of shit in the back of a Corvette, even non-Aero wagon. Like it's like a pickup truck.
Oh yeah, you can fit a lot.
Like you can move with one. Like I remember that was my biggest surprise. The first one I drove was a C5, and I like opened the back, and I was like, holy shit! I was like, I could like buy a dresser and take it home. I was
Like that's one thing I always liked about the Corvettes also is because like the trunk space is incredible. Like I'm not sure like about like the C5 Z06 because they didn't have the hatch, so I'm not sure how the trunk space is on those.
That's true. The other thing
this
is
thing's massive.
you can take the roof off.
Yeah.
And that's Jay. You probably
For
would have
some
fit
of them.
better with that. You probably would have fit
Yeah,
better.
he took it off when we were there, but
Uh,
could you imagine the wind noise if we were trying to film and I had that on anyway, or we had it off?
No, you need one of these. Where the fuck did I put it? Never mind. I don't know where I put it. Oh, here it is.
But back to what the topic I was trying to say is like, what do you guys like? The topic that got sparked up was we were talking about the mid-engine car that GM's making.
Yep.
Do you guys think it's going to be a Corvette, or do you guys think it's going to be like a Cadillac? Because one thing that we were thinking is it could be just branded as a Cadillac.
Like bring back the XLR or whatever that thing was, and call it that, and make it mid-engine. Actually, they shouldn't call it that. No one liked that car.
Yeah.
Wasn't that thing basically a Corvette?
Yeah, it was like a Corvette with a North Star in an automatic.
Yeah, it's a Corvette.
Or something like that.
Another body.
Like what my theory is what I kind of hope they do is like, you know how there's like different trims for the Corvettes, like there's the Stingray, there's the Z06, the Grand Sport, then the new ZR1 coming out that they still haven't fucking released yet. Which
Yeah. What's the R1? Yeah.
Yeah. Like one thing I'm hoping is that they call it Corvette, but they just make it like another trim level, like call it the Corvette Zora. Like just make it another trim level, like it's still a Corvette, but it's just the top of the line.
So does that mean on the window sticker it'll say like, you know, Zora package, move engine to the back of the car, $40,000?
Yeah, like I don't think that would fly.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't think so either.
But I think it could be mid-engine because the Camaro is so goddamn fast now. Like I've driven one of the new ones.
It's like neck and neck with the Z06 now.
It is, and it's like, especially, you know, the 1LE. I mean, it's like it's matching the Z28 times of the previous one around tracks like everywhere, and it's like 911 Carrera S territory. It's like, okay, well, what you get 2 more seats with that, and it's, I don't know what they are. The 1LEs are, you know, 52 or, you know, 48, or it's like,
yeah, but those seats are for midgets in the back, you know. It's so small.
Well, true, but it's like that or no seats in the Corvette. So it's like, I think they might as well make it mid-engine and kind of like, you know, move it up market a little bit, you know, charge a little more for it, and they can go a little extreme with the styling. I think it'd be cool, but I'm like one of those people who's like, fuck it, change it. I don't care.
Yeah, like I'm not saying like when I said like make it like another trim level, I don't mean like keep it the same looking as the regular C7s. Like obviously have it different, but like they still make the Stingrays, the Z06s, the ZR1s, the whatever the fuck I missed.
I think they're gonna convert them all to mid-engine, the C8s, but I think the trims are gonna be like, I know the top trim's gonna be a hybrid. It's gonna be but it's gonna.
I don't care if it's
like a 918.
Yep, it's gonna compete with the 918. Well, maybe not that expensive, but it's gonna be like the NSX.
But it might kick its ass.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you think about it, the front engine Corvette is still doing pretty damn well against other mid-engine cars.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
Well, I mean,
perfect.
it's front. I mean, to be honest, like they go, will it be mid-engine? Pop the hood on a C7. It's fucking mid-engine. It's just in the front.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like behind the front shock towers. It's the engines. I mean, it's not like an Audi where you open the hood and the engine's in front of the headlights.
It's rear weight bias. I mean, it's rear wheel bias.
Well, yeah, because it has the transmission's in the back. It's got a transaxle. It doesn't have like a drive shaft and a little tiny diff. It's got a big fuck off box back there, and it's like, I mean, they're
that Marco blew out at the drag step once.
There you go.
Yes.
You can see it.
Weren't we talking about that in another podcast where you were in like the comments or something?
Yeah,
Marco?
yeah. I forget. Was that with
I think that was when Cletus was in there.
Yeah, because I wanted to ask him because he drags his car like hard. Although he never has a C7 on his channel anymore. But
Yeah, it's all Leroy now.
That name
Yeah,
sounds
it's all
familiar.
Leroy, yeah.
Cletus. Is it? What is that? Cletus
McFarlane?
McFarlane? Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
he blew up. I mean, his channel is huge, real quick.
Yeah. Well, he
But-
started
Because he
with
works
the
at 1320, so no wonder he went. Fing!
Yeah,
Yeah, right away.
That makes sense. Okay.
but
Well, that also includes Big Clyde too. He's been blowing up too. But for a while there, I think his channel has slowed down a little bit ever since he got rid of the Z06.
he sold the car. Yeah, the Z06.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I
I
would have
think
been
he's
watching
done a
his
nice job.
channel when he still had the Z06, because by the time I got wind of it, he had already sold, or just sold it. I was like, well, shit.
Well, hell, I've been watching his channel since he had the GTO before he hydroplaned and crashed it. Yeah.
Actually, you know what's funny is I found Big Clive's channel between a collaboration where he and I Am Ty Boogie did a collab with each other to trade kind of viewers a little bit. You guys ever watched his videos?
No, I don't think I've heard of him. Ty
I don't think
Boogie.
I've heard of him either.
Pretty big channel, mainly into Hondas with like street racing out of New
Oh,
York.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so apparently there's somebody in here called Gator Gaming. I don't know who he is, but he's like, you guys look like the Sopranos group that plays poker.
That's
a
funny.
compliment, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And we all have cool cars.
Let me ask you about the new Corvette and the mid-engine. Do you think that they are going to make it, like Marco said, it's going to have to be all mid-engine? Because I don't think that they're going to be able to get away with making a mid-engine version and then making
No, production costs are they have to do it on one assembly line. It's got to be the same.
They have to do one or the other.
Chassis anyway, if they did try to do options, so it'd be a different car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
it's not like they're just gonna pop the hatch and be like, slap that bitch in there. They gotta engineer it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
But like right now, you could go out and buy a Corvette for like $50,000 if you're just getting a base thing. Or what?
Well, hell, Street Speed was showing one that was for 48 or 47,000, but it was like a base model with nothing on it.
So you're telling me that like a mid-engine car, a mid-engine performance car as good as a Corvette's going to come in around that price? They're going to have.
There's no way.
No, it's gonna go.
No way.
They're saying it's gonna go. It's upmarket one. It's gonna be more like, I mean, what's it at now? A base like 50 something, 62 something like that. I think they're gonna be in the 80 like.
Now, you see, I can't agree with that because actually, if you really think about it, it should get cheaper because you no longer have a torque tube.
Yeah, but then there's development costs, which is taking a car that has had the engine in the front since, our grandmas were, out the bars drinking. Yeah. They were out getting milkshakes, getting kissed on the cheek. But like now moving the engine back, there's going to be development costs associated. It's like when Cobb or those companies, they make tunes for, Subarus, and then they do them for Porsches, and the Porsche one costs twice as much, and people go, oh, what the fuck? And they're like, well, we had to buy a Porsche and then tune it, so that cost has to be put into that. So
I think they're still going to have a cheaper version. They're going to use the LT1 or a version of the LT1. That's going to be the base, the Stingray or whatever they're going to call it. But these high level ones with the hybrid and stuff, that's where the money is going to be.
Like, I heard something about an LT5 somewhere along
LT5 too. Yeah, I mean it could be maybe like the Z06.
I thought that was going to be for the ZR1.
Yeah, like I heard rumors about like it being in the ZR1, and then I've heard rumors about that's going to be the engine in the mid-engine car, and that the ZR1 is just going to be a more beefed up LT4 with maybe like a bigger supercharger or something. I don't know.
Don't forget about all the active aero that it's going to have.
Yeah, that too, including the spoiler. Even though hell, Mike's got that down pat. He already slapped the fucking spoiler on the ZR6.
I was going to say, what the hell?
Why
did we get the ZR1 at this point?
Exactly. Like one thing I'm thinking, like, I mean, I don't mind that he put the wing on there. I'm just like, but why are you getting the ZR1 also? If basically you're turning your freaking Z06 into one.
I think his next wrap is going to be the C7R race car. That's what he's going for.
Dude,
because he said if the wing,
my fucking mind, because when I watched that, that's what I was thinking.
He said the wing is the indication of what's coming up next, is what he said. And
yeah, like instant thought was the C7R race car wrap. Is what I was
what's
thinking.
Funny about it, like months and months ago, remember how I was telling you that I was trying to talk to him, and I had sent him a few like messages of all the stuff that I got from Rick Conti with all the active aero before he went and met up with the director of Corvette. And I was telling him, why don't you make it look like a C7R? I mean, it's already yellow. Might as well get all that stuff. Get all the Jake stuff, you know? And I think that's what he's going for. But anyway, what I was gonna say is I think that Chevrolet, what they need to do with this mid-engine vehicle that they're gonna create, they shouldn't call it a Corvette. It should be their Chevrolet hypercar, because people need to understand that a Corvette is just a high-end sports car that competes with hypercars and super sports cars. That's what people need to understand. That's why the price where it's at, that's why it's where it's at. You know what I mean? I mean, it starts at 50, and then it goes up from there. I mean, it goes to Z06, ZR1, and then whatever is going to be next, I think that's going to have to be Chevrolet's hypercar. What do you think, Marco?
I think they're going to keep the price lower just because they've always been the most competitive supercar or wannabe exotic car. So I think they're gonna keep to their heritage. I don't think it's gonna go above 150 for the top model, but
look what happened to Viper.
And they didn't sell.
Yeah, Viper died.
Well, I think one of the reasons they didn't sell is because they didn't offer anything but a manual. And as much as people like to bitch on the internet, oh, make the manual. Look at the sales numbers. No one buys manuals. Everyone goes, oh, like they like it as an idea, but then when they get to the dealership, they're like, it would be nice to be able to drink coffee.
And another thing is like nobody wants to buy a $150,000 American car.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're going to spend over that,
like nobody, like everybody also has they have the, I don't know what the fuck the word that I'm looking for is mindset. They have the mindset that American cars are not worth $150,000.
Well, it takes a long time to overcome a reputation, or a bad reputation. Like, because I mean, like growing up, like in the '90s and stuff, like. To be honest, some of that is deserved. Not anymore. I mean, this shit now is great. I mean, everything's pretty good now. Yeah. But like some of the '90s stuff is, if you just look at how it's held up, like F-body Camaros. Like I used to have an 06 GTO, which is obviously not an F-body, but it's like that right around that time. That's when I felt like, oh, okay, now they're starting. You can't like laugh at the interiors anymore. It's like nice car. It's like this is a nice car.
It is. Yeah, that's exactly what I have.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, that's a great. I miss that car. It's a great car. But but you get in like something. So like I had an '84 Porsche 944 at the same time. A friend of mine had a, God, I think it was like not an IROC, but is that an F body? That body style of Camaro? Yep. Yeah. So an F body, and like they're made in the same year. And then like he got in my car and he's like, oh my God, he's like, it's so nothing's rattling. And we got in his car and I'm like yelling at him because his dash is like moving around and it's like, so I think
I gotta warn you, you're getting real close to hurting my feelings real soon here where you're going.
All right.
Well, I wanted to point out something that he was just talking about because, obviously I have a Pontiac GTO too. And, even though it's already practically 10 years old, right? It's already, it still doesn't look very dated, no. Especially if you put a set of head HIDs like what I have on my car. With all these new Mustangs and Camaros, all the panels on the side are plastic, and at least ours might have been vinyl. It has like nice vinyl and it has nice leather on the bottom and it has suede, but it looks nice and it feels nice. You touch it and it's got nice soft surfaces,
Yeah,
everywhere
it's
you
like
touch
soft touch materials. You put your elbow down, it's cushy. It's
exactly, and everything like how Nick was talking about how his ZL1 is so much better than the previous one and this and that. It is. It's a very beautiful car. It's a very fast car, but even though the inside is still, there's plastic everywhere. It's everywhere. And like no matter how much suede they put on it, everything else, all the dash, there's nothing soft about it. There's nothing soft about the top of the windows where they close, where the seals go. There's nothing soft about it. And even though our cars are 10 years old, or my car's 10 years old, it still has all that nice material inside. Like everybody keeps bitching about the Chevy SS, and it's like the only downside about that Chevy SS, it doesn't have an LT1. If it came with an LT1, I think it would be more popular because it would be better on gas and it would have more power, obviously. Especially if they brought the LSA version of here. But they're going to quit because it's done.
Yeah, it's done.
They're
isn't
closing
it?
on the factory.
Too bad.
Yeah, it's done.
I haven't driven an SS, but I did drive the GA GXP, and actually that review. So that was one of the first cars I tried to review, and it was so fucking bad. I watched the video. I was like, I'm not posting this. It was like one of the first times I tried to talk to a camera while driving, and I was like, this is fucking hard. as it turns out. But the no, that is a car like if I had any money, I would probably buy and hold on to, because they're like a GHXP with like lowish miles. They're like still get one for like 30.
Oh yeah,
it's like
Yeah, they're nice.
sure.
I mean that's. And Trevor, why did I almost hurt your feelings? I'm sorry. Do you have an F body?
Oh, I own an '89 IROC F body, so yeah.
Oh, dude, I love they're a
But
sinister
I
looking
totally agree
badass
with
car.
the dash rattles.
Yeah. No. I mean but if it depends what the car's for. Like if it's to take you and someone on a date, like maybe that's not the best car. But if it's just to be like fuck yeah, then
Go
yeah, that's
trash
a great
it.
car. Yeah.
Yeah, if
well,
you watched the one podcast where Trevor talked about some cop stories, you'll know what his car's for.
Isn't that the
Yeah.
same car that Will Ferrell was revving in Old School?
I think
it was
That was a
Yeah.
second gen, I think. That was a second gen
Oh.
Trans Am.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it,
Yeah. No,
But
the
those cars are awesome.
IROC, I mean, I love my car. It's a blast.
Mhm.
It's, nothing stock in the engine at all, but it's made to be beaten on. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's definitely not your, but that's one thing I was going to actually kind of bring up is like, maybe it goes with the reputation or maybe it goes with the mindset, but you don't buy an American muscle car for all the nice leather and
No, hell no.
no.
buy it. It's stripped right down to nothing and has a big ass engine in it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Exactly.
it's just like I said, like about 4 podcasts ago. The minute you step into that accelerator, whether it's a Ford or a Chevy, you completely forgot about the exterior or the interior.
And the
It's like-
sound. Yeah.
Yeah, you get the sound and you get instant wood.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
That's one way to put it.
It's
Mhm.
like holy shit. It's like hell yeah. I mean, that's really what it's all about. It's not like
Hell
these
yeah.
Europeans. They're more concerned about the interior and the
Interior,
exterior.
how it makes the
But-
ass
but-
cheeks feel, and
All right, but
Well,
what's the one thing?
steady.
But what's the one thing that a European has all the time? And if I'm not
Pussy?
mistaken,
Oh, sorry.
electrical problems, electrical gremlins all the time.
True.
Is that the truth? Isn't that the truth, Marco? Electrical gremlins. No matter what European car, whether it's Mercedes or BMW,
Well, I will.
Audi.
So when they got to like the year, like around 99, 98, yes. But like I've had a few E30 BMWs, and those don't really have that much electrical on them. They do have that weird. Has anyone ever been in an E30 here? They have this weird, like basically where the check engine stuff would be. There's a little like Star Trek looking thing that's where like above the rearview mirror, and it's got like coolant, oil, brake lights, all this shit on it. It's like a grid. It's like a little battleship thing. And if something goes wrong, like one of them will go off, and then it tells you on the dash, look up, and then you have to look up and see what's wrong. but they probably thought that was the shit in the late 80s. But as those cars age, it's always like something's wrong, and like nothing's ever wrong. But it's just sensors and bullshit. But no, I get what you're saying. But in the this is, and then I'll shut up. Sorry. One of the things about, I guess, if I pride my channel on anything, is that I feel like I'm not biased. Like I understand there's a tool for every job. Like if what you were talking about, like you putting your foot down and getting wood, like that muscle car is perfect, great.
Yeah.
But like like where I live out like where it's like canyon road, mountain roads. It's really windy, so I like something that's light and can change direction quickly. And I've had like old like rat rod muscle trucks too, but it's like I just think there's like a tool for every job, and I hate when people get so into one thing that they miss out on all this other shit that's out there that's good. I mean, it's like.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm biased, but I can find an American car for that. We can go get a Pontiac Solstice.
For what?
For a canyon run. That thing's like the American Miata.
Yeah.
A Solstice or a what are the Saturn Sky, which is the red line. It's the exact same car. It just has the exterior body panels that are different. Same car with the same turbo.
It's a shame they didn't develop that car. I mean, it lasted only a few years, and they could have made second gens of it. And I know they lost Pontiac and Saturn, but they could have moved it to Chevy or.
I was sad they lost Pontiac because they were moving every car in their lineup to rear wheel drive, is what they were in the process of doing.
Yeah,
which is too bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, Trevor, go ahead.
Solstice, like the GXP Solstice and stuff like those.
Yes,
those were really good. The first years they had the Cobalt engines that weren't really, you really didn't feel anything. It was that kind of not that refined of it. But as they got those later GXPs, they were phenomenal. They gave up turbo
and remember the coupe? Remember they made
that was awesome.
Only a few of those ever.
Yeah, the only setback on that one was not being able to store the top in the back.
Yeah, you could take it off. You just couldn't put it anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You just had to leave it in your garage. And then it came with this like little soft top thing, like the ones that Lamborghini have. And you have to kind of put it together like a tent.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it says do not go over, I think, 75 or 65 miles an hour or something like that.
Or your
like, are you kidding
gonna
me?
fly away. Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, you know, you're
Your
gonna
tent's gonna fly away.
Yeah, your tent, exactly.
I gotta agree with Devin's point though, where like, you know, it's nice to have some diversity too though. You know, you can find an American car that can do similar to what a Japanese car can do for road courses and stuff like that, but it's kind of fun to dip your toes into all the different waters and try out different stuff. I think that's kind of personally why I own the variety that I do.
You're a perfect example. You have a IROC and then you have a Honda, so it's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and the Jeep. Like I go off road, I go around turns, and I go straight. Like I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna talk about imports, I mean, we have an Infinity over here. It's a G37. I don't know if you can see it, but
Who's that?
That's my mother-in-law's. It drives amazing. I changed the suspension on this.
Okay, I want to say something real quick before we continue. Is Autonut in the comments? He like when we're talking about German cars, he's like German cars are always over-engineered equals glitchy.
Equals glitchy. Yeah, there you go.
That's true.
I'm not gonna
Equals
argue
maintain your car.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, no, because I work, my normal job, actually, that'd be an interesting question for everyone, what you actually do. But so I manage a BMW shop. It's like a performance shop. And we do a lot of engine swaps, and we make a lot of like, our thing right now is like M wagons. So like that never existed. So we're making a lot of M3 wagons, you know, engine, suspension, interior swaps and stuff. But it's like, we also do normal service. And like, it shocks me when people bring in their car and they're like, yeah, it's making this noise. And you go out and you start it up and it's like this screech that's like, oh, and it's like, yeah, I don't know what that is. It's like, you haven't been here for a year. Like, it's called maintenance. Like, some things require more of it, some things require less. But it's like, if you're proactive and not reactive, like, oh, something blew up, I guess I'll fix it now. It's like, most cars are okay. Maybe not Italian cars or like old British cars, but it's like, I mean, it's like, just fucking take it into a professional once in a while. You know? Yeah, it's like, yeah.
How many people
differential oil coolers? You know, I mean,
what were you saying, man?
Oil pumps.
People, what to ask the guy from Portland? I apologize if I forget your name.
Yeah, it's Devin.
Devin. How many people get sticker shock when they come in with a BMW? When I used to change oil back in college, people would come in, and I worked at like a crappy like Jiffy Lube style place, right? Yeah. And people would come in with BMWs or Mercedes or whatever, and they'd be like, oh, you know, synthetic oil, it's like a $75, $80 oil change. They're like, oh, why is it that much? My Civic was never that much. You're not driving a Civic. You're driving a BMW or a Mercedes. Yeah. How many people do you deal with that have that crazy sticker shock? They're like, why does it cost so much? Well, it's an exotic car.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually like the first time people, like we have a lot of repeat referral business. We're pretty like small and local and not like, we don't do a lot of advertising. It's like word of mouth. But yeah, like first time customers, they'll come in and they're like, oh, I just bought this car. You know, I just want to know what it needs. And we're like, well, you know, it needs a valve cover gasket. And they're like, okay, how much is that? And it's, you know, like on a 335i or something, you know, like that, where you have to take a lot of intake manifold off. It's like, I don't know, it's like $800. And they're like, what? But the car was only $8,000. It's like, well, yeah, that's why it was $8,000, because people don't want to fucking pay $800 to get the valve cover gasket changed, so they trade it in. It's like, so congratulations. So do you want to do it or not?
You got the shitty end of the stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you inherit a problem.
Mm-hmm. You know, but if you do shit yourself, there's still easy. Yeah.
Is they'll buy a high-end car that's used for a good deal, but it still comes with high-end repair bills.
It does. Well, that's the thing. Depreciation does this, but like it's not like the maintenance thing goes cheaper. It's like the maintenance stays here. It actually gets more expensive because the older the car gets, they don't, you know, stock the parts for them anymore. Special order.
Well, not just that, but you got to also remember that the older the vehicle, the higher the maintenance cost, because all of a sudden, besides oil, which is every 3,000 miles or 5,000, depending if you have synthetic or what kind of vehicle it is, people forget about the transmission. You know, it's anywhere between 30 or 50,000 miles, right? They forget about all the oil coolers, that need to be, if it's a sports car or not. They forget about all the fluids for the radiators. They forget to do that.
Coolant you should do every 90 or so. It's like,
well, it depends on the vehicle, but
yeah,
I'm just
well, that's
saying
BMW,
that,
but yeah,
like for instance with this Infinity, the next thing that's coming is it's a timing belt seal that needs to be done, and that's like $1,200, but it is what it is, and that's one of those things that I don't want to do because it's a pain in the ass to get. I did do the suspension because they wanted to charge like $1,500, but I know how to work on suspension, so I did that myself, bought all the parts, spent like $300 and did it on a weekend. But I had the appropriate tools to do these, this individual job.
And you're mechanically inclined, because a lot of people nowadays aren't really mechanically inclined.
No, it's rare. Are any of you guys like, that honestly, car guy that people know, and then you get all the questions from like, everyone in your little circle, like, oh, I'm thinking about doing this, or oh, my car's making this noise. Like, do you ever guys
like honestly, I'm not like all the time. I don't know a shit ton. Like, I'm still learning, but literally like half of my friends that aren't like car people like we are, they'll ask me, and I'm like, I'll get back to you on that.
Like one of the major things that people forget is timing belts and just regular belts that need to be replaced.
Yeah.
Because they're like, all of a sudden my air conditioner's not working. Well, yeah, your air conditioning belt, broke. That pop you heard like 1,000 miles ago.
It was
that was your air conditioning. Yeah, that was exactly. That was your air conditioning belt. It's like you needed to replace it a long time ago.
Yeah.
People don't keep up on these important things. Like they think that if you replace, people think that they can replace one tire. Like, no, it's got to be by the set. Like brakes, it's by the set. You can't just replace one side. It's by the set.
Yeah.
Because then it fucks up like the whole balance of the car.
Yeah, the braking balance, everything.
And probably the alignment too, right?
No, that has nothing to do with it. That's tires.
Yeah, well, that's tires, that's control arms, that's tie rods. If you replace any of that stuff, and then it's going to be, especially tie rods, dude. I replaced a tie rod one time.
I'm still learning here.
And one wheel was like this, and one was like this, and my friend was like, "I just replaced my tie rod. Can you align it for me?" Because I was a tech at the time, and I was like, "Sure." And he like had it flatbedded here. I was like, "Does it not run?" He's like, "No, it runs." And I was like, "Why'd you flatbed it here?" And he's like, "Well, you'll see." And I was like trying to drive it to the shop, and I was like steering the wheel back and forth, and the car was like crab walking sideways. And I was like, "Holy shit, dude! What did you do?" It was like, but yeah, he put a tie rod on it. It was like all the way out, so one wheel was like this and one was like this. So I'm trying to drive straight, and the car's doing like this.
And see, a person that's mechanically inclined will measure the old one that came out.
Yeah, and at least get it roughly there. Yeah,
exactly. There you go. Like when I pulled out the transmission in my PT Cruiser that I have, I put everything, because I replaced all the ball joints. As a matter of fact, I replaced them with all the ones that can be re-greased. And replaced all that stuff. And when I took it to the alignment shop, I did it such a good job that I didn't even it was all within spec. I was like, wow, shit, that's pretty good.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit.
I've never had that happen, but
I mean, it's a rare occurrence, but I was I was happy that it happened. But I was like, shit, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, Devin, I take it you're that guy in your group of friends that everybody calls up and goes, "Oh, my car's making this noise. What is it?"
Yeah, it's that, or because I manage this shop I'm at, and it's like, and people know that, and it's especially like my fiance's friends, like like girls and stuff. They're like, oh, like, is this noise bad? And I'm like I can't hear what you're saying on the fucking phone because the car is so loud. So yeah, it's probably bad. Or it's either that, or it's like, oh, her sister's like, I'm thinking about getting rid of the Prius, and I'm like, thank God. And she's like, what should I get? And I'm like, well, what?
The vagina.
Exactly. Yeah, the vagina on wheels. And she's like, what should I get? And I'm like, well, okay, so you have 2 kids. It's just you and 2 kids, and she's divorced and stuff. And I was like, well, I was mentioning like the few companies left who make wagons, because I think wagons are fucking awesome. It's like drives like a car. It's no compromise. You can put a bunch of shit in it. If you have kids, throw the dogs in it, whatever. And then she's like, I think it was like the new, like the Audi A4 wagon. She wants to lease something. And I was like, do that. And she's like, oh, I don't like that. It's ugly. And she got a Prius V, which is like extra, like a Prius with a tumor. And I'm just like, so did you want my opinion, or do you want me to validate your own retarded, non-educated opinion? Like, but no, they don't want your opinion. They most people ask you because they go, oh, I'm thinking about getting this. And they just want you to go, you should definitely do that. No, but it's like,
that's funny.
It's like
like
I agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong.
It's like a couple of years ago. I'm on vacation, right? We're about to drive out to New Orleans to get on a cruise, and my dad calls me, and he's like in Vegas looking at some truck, and it's like, "Hey, what do you think about this truck? It's making this weird noise. Do you think I should buy it?" I'm like, "Look, I'm on vacation. I'm not there. I'm not driving the truck. How am I supposed to know if you should buy this truck or not?
Yeah.
Like if it's making a weird noise."
That's why when you go to buy older, like, used
You don't buy
vehicles,
it.
take somebody that's mechanically inclined with you.
Yeah.
Brightest idea.
And never trust those people on Craigslist who are like, oh, you know, it needs a steering rack, but I have the part. I just haven't had time to put it on. It's really easy, though. It's like, oh, if it's real easy, you would have fucking did it and sold a ready-to-go car.
Exactly.
Or if they go, oh, I need the space. This is my favorite thing on Craigslist. They're like, it's selling because I need the space. We'll also trade for 92 through 95 Civic. It's like, I thought you needed the space, motherfucker. Aren't you just about to replace that with something else? So what's wrong with this car?
It's like, why don't you want it? And what's going on with this thing?
My favorite is ran when parked.
Yeah, ran when parked. When JFK was president. Yeah.
My favorite is have a kid on the way, but we'll trade for something else. It's like,
but we'll trade for an MR2. It's like, oh, really? You're gonna put him on the roof rack, you dipshit?
Maybe the trunk, you know. But the the top can't be down, you know.
Yeah, or the frunk. Yeah.
The frunk.
Yeah, I used to have an MR2. I miss that car.
It's the like the Salamandrian challenge where you put. He gets in the
What
trunk.
is that? What is that challenge? Is that put on so much cologne till you suffocate? No, I'm kidding.
Have you seen the? Have you ever seen Salamandrian's channel?
Yeah.
Alejandro. Yeah.
I just
have
don't
you
know
seen how he got into his Beetle? I don't know how the hell he got into it. That thing is so tiny.
I think I remember watching that. I'm like, how the fuck does fool fit in a Beetle?
As a matter of fact, I had done a couple of screenshots and I posted it on my Instagram, and I'm like, how did he do this? Like, what, like, it's like you gotta like bend your arm this way and your leg. It's like,
is he a tall guy?
Like
I don't know really anything about him.
I don't know, to be honest, but apparently everyone else is taller than him that's on the show with him. So, so I don't know. It's hard to judge the height.
Okay, guys, let's move on to another topic since we've kind of created our own topics throughout the week.
We're veering off.
Huh?
I said we're veering off.
Yeah, we veered off, and I'm just like waiting, like, okay, where's the best opportunity to start the next topic here?
Yep, sorry.
Guys, I know I wanted to get talk about some track stuff since Marco was here.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. Marco, have you done autocross before? Or has anybody here done autocross stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a good topic. What is some advice for someone that just wants to get into doing autocross stuff?
Okay.
Well, first of all, autocross is the best way to get into racing in general because it's safe. I mean, you can run into a cone. You can run into objects.
Actually, hey, Marco, remember you were saying it's safe?
That's true.
Hold up, I gotta show everybody this. Hold up.
Yeah.
This is hilarious. Okay, speaking of, you guys can see my screen, correct?
You're kind of gone.
All right, just took acid. I don't know.
Yeah. All I see is you.
Okay.
Oh, what the hell?
This is the part where I pour out my drink. Right, look at my drink and I'm like,
whoa. Can you guys see the screen?
Oh.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. I want you guys to watch this.
Ooh.
This is why me and Marco started laughing when we were saying about autocross being safe. Watch this shit that happened to my friend. Can you guys see the video?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, watch this.
Let's see if we go.
He's in a Fiat 500 right now. Not trying to like sway anybody away from doing autocross, but don't take a Fiat 500 if I were you. This is why.
Oh, he rolled it.
No, he didn't.
No, he almost did.
Almost rolled it.
So, wow, that's interesting. But those 500s though, like those, and like I've heard of guys putting like Hoosiers on Fiesta STs and stuff like that. And the car, they don't understand the wheelbase. It's like it's fucking square. I mean, because the cars are so short that it's like, and you take a square and you're driving. It's like, and with really grippy tires especially. And if you slip and then hook and the weight's coming back the other way, it's got to go somewhere. I mean, so But that's really scary.
Yeah, that's why he said he's
Kinda
never autocrossing that car again.
Well,
Okay,
and you also got to be gradual with your inputs. Like, to answer the question, was it tips for first time, or is it that a good idea? I forget what the question was.
Tips for first time.
Okay,
Tips for people getting into doing autocross.
Get there early enough, because I remember. So I did my first one in. Shit, that was been 06 or 07, something like that. My first one is a mess. Like, I got there and late, and they had already done the track walk. And so I didn't even know because when you're walking up on it and it's just all cones, you're like I don't know what the fuck. It doesn't make any sense.
That's the worst part about autocross is learning the track, because it's
exactly
different every time and it's hard to read because it's all.
And this was my first one ever, and I'm like, okay, cool. And so they're like, all right, go ahead. And like, there were really fast cars going in front of me. Like, there was like an aerial and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to show them. And yeah, it was bad. And I destroyed the whole course. They had to stop, and we're like, all right, let's reset after this. Fuck bag just destroyed it. So it's like, take it easy. No one's gonna make fun of you. It's actually a really supportive crowd. I find it's like but check your tire pressures, torque down your wheels. Like, I've seen wheels come off and shit. But and just go and and remember, like, the whole slow is smooth, smooth is fast, or whatever. Like, and then work your way up. And then when you start losing the car, then back off a little bit, and you'll find that that happy medium. But it's like, I don't know, just take anything. I've done it in when I have had cars that were not running. I've done it in girlfriends' cars before that were automatic Accord wagons. It's like, just do it. It's fun. I mean, it teaches you about.
It's a lot cheaper as well.
Oh yeah, they're like 40 or some of them are even like $30 for a day. It's like. Yeah, no, I think it's a great way to learn. It's a great way to get to know a car too. Like, if you have a car right now, just Google, autocross events near you if you've never done it, and just go, and you will leave that thing looking at your car oh, now I really know you. It's like, I've been to third base with you, but now we've been everywhere. It's like, because you get to take it past the limit with no risk, really. I mean, you're not gonna hurt anything. You're just gonna hit a cone, But yeah, I support it. It's not. It gets a little. I don't know. I do a lot of hill climb here, which I've started to gravitate towards, because it's to me, the next thing. And the hill climbs I love, because it's like your dream thing. It's like, oh, this is a great road and no one's on it, and I can use both sides of the road. And I can put my foot down a lot, and I don't burn through brakes because I'm going uphill. So hill climb I also recommend a lot. But it's a less talked about.
Those are fun.
Except if you go off, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't go off.
As a matter of fact, a while back ago, we were in Mendoza, and my friend, the one that owns a white Fiat 8-bar, we were driving a X5 BMW all-wheel drive twin turbo, and he was hauling ass up the mountain to I think it's called Ski Apache in Ruidoso, New Mexico, and the speed limit there is, I think it's 30. He was doing well over 50. Going up this damn road, and I'm gonna have to post some of this. I recorded it with my phone, but I turned around and looked at him and told him, well, at least we're in a BMW, so if we end up down there, we might make it. The car might be total, but we might make it. And it was just a scary ride, because we were above 11,000 feet above sea level.
No shit.
So, it was and then we're talking about that this road is pretty narrow. I mean, two cars can barely fit, one going up and one going down. So, and then on some of the blind corners, he was going in on oncoming traffic, and I'm like, dude,
no, that's not cool.
Do that, because we don't know if someone's coming.
Don't risk it. You don't want to be like.
Yeah, no, I got in this huge argument with a YouTube commenter once on this. So I have this one video that's way over the top amount of views compared to the rest of mine. It's like a 996, a 99 base Porsche Carrera review, and it's at 8. It's got 90,000 views or some stupid, which makes no sense to me. But people, there's one shot in the video where it was in the middle of nowhere, completely flat ground, and it's this right angled turn that's banked perfectly. And I did some kind of oversteery outside slow motion shots there, because I thought it'd be a good place. And I had a guy filming who was looking down the other way of the road and giving me the thumbs up, or slow down, if anyone was coming. And I went over the line half a car width, and man, some people were just you have no right to endanger other people's lives. And I'm like, motherfucker, you can see a mile away and there's no one coming. So if you can see through the corner, I'm fine with using the, using all of the
I
road.
agree.
But when you're coming around a blind turn, like, man, like sometimes motorcycles and stuff, like they're leaning their head on my side of the road, and I'm like, oh, dude, like, don't do that. Yeah, like
Next thing you know, they won't have a head.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that what happened to that motorcyclist that crashed into that Porsche? He went into the oncoming lane.
Or WRX man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I heard he was giggling.
Yeah, no. What the heck is his name? Poppy something. Poppy. He was a motorcyclist, auto vlogger, and he got in a motorcycle wreck where he crashed into a Porsche. I don't know. And then the other guy that was behind him or in front of him turned around and caught him in the air as he hit the Porsche, and he was like about 30 or 40 feet up in the air, and somehow made, he's alive.
Wow.
It just broke a bunch of stuff, but which is a damn miracle.
Damn.
Wow.
I'll send you the link. Yeah, no kidding. I'll send you the link later. I think all his gear is what really saved his life, to be honest.
What's up, Derek? We got Derek in the comments.
Derek.
Hi, Derek. Who's that?
Okay. He's one of my other YouTuber friends.
Oh.
But so does anybody else have any other advice for getting into autocross and stuff like that, or should we move on to the next topic?
Well,
Make sure to have money for tires later on in case you ruin them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely is.
Yeah, and don't do it on old tires either, because some people go, oh, well, I see a lot of people at work, and they come in, and I'm like, you need tires, and they're like, well, I only drive 200 miles a year. It's like, yeah, but time going by ages tires too. They get all dry and brittle, and when you see a dry, brittle tire blow out, it's not what we call a civilized experience. So just make sure, even if they're not worn down bald, just like that they're in good shape. And man, they make all the difference too. So it's like,
because you don't want to be running like dry rotted tires either.
No, yeah, that's.
Well, I remember RP Productions talking about it because he took his 1LE, to an autocross, and he had brand new tires. And by the time he was done, because of the power that car can produce and the weight, they were completely shredded on the edges, like completely shredded, and they were brand new. I mean, it just got them installed like 2 days prior from the event.
You got to pump up your tires as well. You got to
pump them up too. Like whatever the tire says it'll go to, just do about that. I mean, because it doesn't. If it says 44, it'll go to 44 psi. It doesn't mean if you put it at 45, it's going to blow up. It's like when a ladder says, "Oh, this can hold 300 pounds." It doesn't mean 301 pounds of fucking going to break. They're underestimating. So put it at what the max says, and then just do that. And
it's like drag racing, where you have to lower the psi.
Yeah,
so you can get the better traction.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move to the next topic.
Yes.
What's the type of motorsports or racing event that you haven't tried yet, but is on your bucket list that you want to do in the future?
Rallycross.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Road courses.
Yeah, road course is fun. I rarely autocross anymore. Road course definitely is more fun in my opinion, and you get to go faster. It's actually I don't think it's even as hard on your car as autocross, because autocross you're constantly at the limit, where road course you're not always at the limit. And yeah, it's pretty thrilling. I do it regularly. I just did it last week. Got up to 132, I think that was the fastest I've gone actually on at pit race here that I go to. So a lot of fun.
Are you driving? I'm sorry, because I heard you say something about a Jeep Cherokee. I'm assuming it's not that.
No, I have a C7 Corvette Z50.
Oh, okay.
As well, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so manual. So.
Okay, cool.
That'd be scary. You get the death wobble at about like.
Oh yeah, dude. My first car was an '88 Cherokee Sport 2-door manual with a fucking plaid interior. I miss that car though.
Wait. Doesn't Matt Farah have like some kind of plaid interior in his Mustang or something?
No, it was a some kind of Italian lawn chair fucking upholstery or something that he got. It looks pretty cool. That guy, by the way, is so nice. Like,
he's a cool guy. I've talked to him before.
Yeah, like when I met him that day for the one ticket, it was like me and my dad like went and we brought both of our cars, and it's like we got there super early, because we were like, oh, we really want to be on time, and most people were late. And we got there, we were there for like 10 minutes, and then he pulled up And then he got out and he was like, well, I'm glad. I put it in the end of my, I was reviewing one of the cars on the way there. And then I had the camera mounted on the trunk, and we pulled up, and he pulled up, and I was like, oh, I'll just leave the camera rolling. And, you know, he pulled up, and he's like, well, I'm glad we're not the only ones who are here this fucking early. Like, that was the first thing he said when he got out of the car. And then, you know, we were like talking, and we started talking about, I don't know, we were talking about like Fast and the Furious or something. Like, and yeah, it's just like, if you ever listen to the podcast and you go, oh, he seems cool, he's just like that. Like, there's no like weirdness if you just meet him. Like, he's exactly as he seems. Like he's awesome.
So I'll answer that question though. I'd like to try drifting, and not in my car. Obviously, not drift car, but
that'd be interesting to see a C7 drifting.
But I'd like to try it in a drift car for sure. That'd be fun.
Yeah, for me, it'd definitely be drifting as well. I don't want to drift a 40,000 mile S2000 that's bone stock. Plus, I'm cheap as shit, so I don't want to be buying tires like crazy. But I'd love to try it, just and not in the snow, you know, like we always do. But
yeah, because you can do that at 5 miles an hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I used to do that, and I had a wait. I hope everyone's sitting down. I had a 240 SX. I know it's crazy, but it is like one of those like motorsports where you can. It's one of the most welcoming ones, because sometimes you go to like, you know, a time attack type thing or a hill climb, and everyone's very serious. And if you don't seem very serious, you kind of are shunned by the really serious guys with their, you know, their fanny packs and their sun protective hats and stuff. But it's like the guys who, and they trailered their cars there, and they're wiping it down with diapers in between runs. It's like, but when you go to a drift event, it's like, yeah, fuck it. Like, even if you like bump cars with someone else, they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, you know, zip tie it up. Like, in a way, I think that's going to be the next like kind of grassroots, like, you know, started in Japan, but like kind of the cheap way to go have fun. I think it's because I'm starting to see, like, there's a track a mile from my house, and like I'm starting to see guys like I saw a guy in an F-body Camaro, like an old guy, and he's like, I was like, what are you doing with this car here? And he was like, well, my son got into it with his whatever he had, some old Miata or something. And he's like, and I was just like, that looks like fun. So he put a hydraulic handbrake on his old F-body that he's had, you know, since he was in, you know, since he graduated college or something. And like, he took the hood off of it, and it's got this big fat, you know, air cleaner on top of it. And he's like, he's sliding it around. And it's like, I'm starting to see more like generations come in and just be like, look, it's just about fun. It's not about who's the fastest. It's not about, you know, who's the nicest car. It's just like, everyone's laughing. It's just like, I don't know, just a bunch of giggles. I like it. I'm all for it.
Yeah, like honestly, for me, since I haven't really done any yet, I'd like to try, you know, autocross tracks, maybe even drag racing or even drifting. Like, it all seems interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, start with drag racing if you've never done any of it. Like, you know, like, I don't know, the track here, PIR has, you know, it's like,
well, I can't.
What
well,
you
let's say this: I've drag raced in Mexico. We'll just keep it at that.
Well, you know what's funny about that?
I guess you could kind of say I sort of have.
When you're drag racing at a track, it's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
The street.
Yeah, probably.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah, you're like all nervous, and they're like, wait, can I do the burnout? It's like, can I really do it? Can I take my time? Or like, am I doing my burnout?
Like, am I gonna freaking bust out my rear end going down the track?
It's very embarrassing when you have to get pushed out of the starting line.
How many miles did you have on your car when that happened there, Marco?
Let's see. It was last year. Probably like 5,000 or so.
Yeah. And what's funny, because when I was in my GTO and it only had, I don't know, like less than 3,000 miles, I had ruptured a hose clamp for an oil cooler, and I started dripping a little bit of oil, and I was like, damn it, after I had done like 4 or 5 runs, and the car was like brand new, and I was just like all scared. I was like, it was my first time going, you know, I was like, I didn't know what was going on or how you do it. You know, you pull up to the tree, you know, you set up, you see the 2 lights, you know, 2, 2, 2, you know, yellow, 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 go, you know what I mean? And then once I started going afterwards again, it was like, it just felt like natural. It just felt like I've done this before, so it's like no big deal, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And there's A little trick. You don't have to go when it turns green. I mean, the time starts when your car starts. So just that's a tip. Like, I didn't know that at first either. And
you red light a few times.
Yeah, and it's just like, don't worry about it, especially if you're new. Like, just go when you're ready. So.
The funny part is how you keep pushing yourself harder. Like the first time I ever went to a drag strip, I drove around the water box. I'm like, I don't want to break anything. I'm soft launching the car, and the more passes I made, the faster my times got. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to hook. I'm going to make this. I'm doing these huge burnouts. Finally blew up my rear end because I was trying too hard. But I just wanted to go faster.
Me too. Huh?
Yeah, it's just like drugs.
Well, I remember there was another guy in an automatic.
The car launched, and my friend was actually in line right behind me. He said both of my back wheels started to move, and then it just started one-legging it right down the track, and I, like, all the way through first and second gear, just spun one tire, took the diff cover off, and all the magnets, all these metal shavings, a bolt head. And
oh, man. I just remember that, you know, when I was there, like, they kept telling me, no, you know, try taking off your traction control. So that's what I tried doing. And I was spinning all the way down the track, all the way into fourth, and, you know, and I was just like, I can't grip, man. It's just, I can't grip. And by then I had already, my clutch was already gone, man. It was just, so the best timing I got here at this altitude, which we're at, I believe we're at like 6,000 feet above sea level. The best time I got was a 13.3 here at this altitude at 98 miles an hour.
With what car? I missed that.
With the Pontiac GTO.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But we're talking about, we're at 6,000 feet above sea level. My clutch was gone, and I had no tires. Like I was like, when I left, I had cords, like all the metal.
Yeah, that's a good
like
look.
Somebody was like telling me, hey, you're throwing sparks in your car, and I was like, what? And I had like the cords on the inside were showing, and I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I better go home before I blow out a tire. Like
your camera, you probably had a lot of negative camera. That's, you probably didn't hook that wide too.
Yeah, it was well, yeah, the inside of both tires were just completely gone, like gone. Because those cars tend to squat like real bad, and on top of that, from the factory, the cradle, depending of when your car was built, the cradle was never aligned in relation to the front suspension. So some guys, if they put a wider set of tires, they'll rub on one side or the other. The cradle is not aligned in relation to the front suspension. It'll be aligned, you know, the car itself, but you'll rub on one side or the other.
Well, that's because it's made by Australians and they're mostly drunk all the time. So
there's an easy way to fix that.
I think it might be Australian.
I remember going to the track one day, and I had a buddy with a Fox body Mustang. He borrowed a set of slicks to go to the track with, but when he put them on, they were rubbing just a little bit on the inside. So we just found a big heavy mallet and whaled the inside of the wheel well a few times, and then they fit perfect. So it was great.
That's how they do it at the McLaren factory, actually. Interestingly enough. I'm just kidding. No, they don't.
Do it like I do and go with a 1991 Toyota Celica with the 2.2 liter and an intake, and you think you're fast, but you're really not fast. Issues go nothing. It took me like 18 seconds to get down a quarter mile. I had no problems whatsoever.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was still fun.
It was still fun.
Yeah.
It's like
Fun but slow.
I remember the first time I saw the Hyundai Genesis when they first came out, and the guy was trying to race me, and I'm in my car, and I'm like, you're not, come on, let's just do it. I'm like, how about this? I'll give you a head start. I'll give you 2 lanes and a head start, okay? And then I'll go. And so he does, and I'm like, see, I told you, dude, like, it's you're not gonna win. I'm sorry. It's just like, it is what it is. Like, I outpower you by 200 horsepower. Like, you're not gonna win. Like, no matter how light your car
was this a 2-liter Genesis turbo?
I don't know, but it was a Hyundai. It was a Hyundai Genesis.
Yeah, because they have the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo, which is 210 or something like that, and then the 3.8 V6 is 320 or something like that. So
it must have been that one, but I was still outpowering him. I was like, there's just no contest. I'm sorry, bro. Like, don't get upset. You have a really nice looking car, but that's not a drag racing car. That's for not, that's for autocrossing.
Mhm.
You know, that's a good autocrossing car.
I
If
think
you want a
where
good
you live
drag
in the
racing
country.
car,
Go ahead.
if you want a real good drag racing car, just get an American car.
Exactly.
Well, I
Just
mean, unless you get
go.
unless you get a Supra, I mean, that's.
Well, I have a friend with a
Mhm.
Supra, and I forget how much horsepower he's making though.
I mean,
Do you
it
guys
all
watch
depends on-
Pure Function?
What?
Do you guys watch the channel Pure Function?
No, I don't know gay code. No,
Gay code.
I'm just kidding. I'm just a little drunk. That's okay though.
Oh, whatever floats your boat.
Well, another fast car would be that's a import would be the GTR.
Yeah, true. Those things kick everybody's ass.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll kick a 06's ass like a stock to stock on the drag race.
It all depends what you're looking to do, what you have, and how much money you put into it too. Though I've got a friend with a 1992 Sentra that is a 9-second car. So
Yeah. But I'm talking about a stock to stock car is what I'm talking about. You know.
One thing about drag racing, an automatic and all-wheel drive like the GTR, that is super simple to launch and be consistent.
I will never look at a guy at a drag with a GTR with his launch control and his very sophisticated traction control and his automatic gearbox. I mean, okay, it'll do the 1-2 shift and then you have to do this. It's like I'll never look at that guy and be like, wow, that guy's a fucking badass. Like
it just takes
like, wow, that guy's got a big checkbook. Like, but it's like I don't look at that guy and be like, wow, respect. But like when I see the if you guys ever watch any like the Goodwood Festival of Speed, like vintage racing and stuff, these guys are racing cars from like the 20s where they have literally a mechanic who's riding on because they have gravity fed fuel pumps and they're like pumping the fuel pumps as they're on these tires that are this wide and the cars from the 20s and they're like wheel to wheel and they're bumping each other and I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. And that guy's like 65. like that's like another level of like crazy. But it's like I got 7 airbags and an automatic. No, that guy's a walrus with no personality.
Wait,
but Wayne Carini, he has a bunch of cool cars, man.
He does. No, he has some great cars. No,
he has.
But I don't.
Some amazing cars. My respects to him, man. I mean, he knows how. Well, I mean, he has a bunch of money.
No, as a collector and as for knowledge goes and finding them, yeah, he's fucking and he's nice too. I met him one time, very briefly, but he's pretty nice and he'll talk to anyone and he won't make you feel unimportant.
Like there's a guy that I don't remember, but he's from Phantom Works. Do you remember the show? Have you seen it?
Yeah,
on, Velocity.
He's
the guy that restores a bunch of cars. He seems like a cool guy too.
I can't remember
the one guy that I think is probably like probably has a stick up his ass is Richard Rawlings.
Yeah, I've heard weird shit about that guy, like cocaine-y weird shit about that guy. Like,
yeah, I honestly I think if it wasn't for Aaron, I don't think he would be where he's at. Aaron is he's the master mechanic. I mean, yeah, he has the business sense and knows how to bargain for cars and knows how to buy stuff, but Aaron is the one. He's the master mechanic. He's the one that knows how to get shit done.
What I really want from car shows is more like, especially in America, is like more diversity. Like, because I feel like we got a lot of like, and again, I have love for every car scene in their own right, with the exception of a few things. But
you mean like the tires like this?
Yeah, that exactly. That's really what I was talking about.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I like anything that serves its function, but yeah, that shit's a little retarded. But just yeah,
a little.
Ferretti
that
was
shit
talking
is
about that.
mostly retarded.
Yeah.
But the,
like the only Stance Miata that ever had any use was Rob Ferretti's. It plowed snow for like a couple feet. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be writing some of this stuff down. These could be topics for future conversations where it's like hating on the stance scene and hating on anybody with a GTR. Which we definitely know about.
Well, that's why I get those negative comments. I breed negativity. I just like, because I'll get on a thing and then after I'm done with it, I'm like, sorry. but I'm like, I don't take it back, but I'm sorry. Yeah. But
more like sorry, not sorry.
It's like the all-wheel drive Huracan, man. That thing's, you know, you have that launch control. It's like, oh, boom, and it just takes off like a mother.
How many times?
The kid with the channel who has one of those.
How many times can vehicle versions launch that thing?
Yeah,
I don't, right, until he blows it up.
Until he blows it up. I mean, he's like, oh, it's so reliable. I mean, that clutch in there has. I mean, it's only infinite life.
And plus, you got to think about it. It's a Lamborghini, also.
Right, which is like one of the most like unreliable freaking Italian cars besides Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean, let's compare it to Ferrari. It's not going to spontaneously light on fire, at least.
That's true. That is true.
But because, and you know why? Because Audi fixed that.
Yeah.
but then again, it might have electrical problems at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, yeah. The thing about Germany is, so in the 40s, they went to war with the world, and they almost didn't lose.
Yeah.
So it's like, so when they are like, you know, yes, we have built this and it works perfectly. You kind of have to like be like, all right, man, all right, yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, yeah. And then after that, they went to war with the world again, and they almost didn't lose. So it's like they're a little crazy.
Like there's a channel that I've been watching for a long time. His name is Scotty Kilmer. He's a mechanic out of Texas.
He has the weirdest intros, but yeah, I like his stuff. Is educational. Yeah.
I've learned a lot. But he was talking about BMW a long time ago, back in mid-2000 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Was not including a dipstick in their cars, so it had a light that would tell you when the oil was low. Yeah. And I'm like, but what if that? He says, but what if that sensor screws up and you don't know if it's low? Like you can't check it. Like he was talking about. This is why, you know, having a key fob is not good. It's better to have an actual key, because sometimes these vehicles don't talk to each other. They don't communicate to each other. You know, they stop. If the battery dies on your car or the key fob, it just completely ceases to exist or work.
Yeah, no, that's true. But you have to consider the audience too, because people think BMWs are like, well, that doesn't make sense for me. It's like, well, this is a German product. In Germany, they get rid of cars when they hit 100,000 kilometers. Like that's like they have to pay a bunch in extra taxes if they're over that many miles, and so they just get rid of them. Like they literally crush cars there that are 3 years old with 62,000 miles, which is what that translates to in American. And it's
which is funny. I was watching this thing on YouTube.
So it's like, why would you have a
where they grab brand new cars that have never been touched, you know, never been driven, and then they test them by draining all the oil and everything else, and they crush them. They put them in machines. It's like a torture chamber. You know, it's like almost like it's like the guy needs to be wearing leather or something like that. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, it's
but it's like a torture chamber. Where, they grab the wheels. They you know, have you seen those dynos that they use in Europe? Instead of doing you know, by the wheels, they attach them to the hubs. So they'll be like twisting the hubs, and they'll be like pulling on them to make sure that the suspension stays in place.
Yeah.
And it's like torture machines, but they just tear them apart, and they don't do that type of stuff here. That's why they have that over-engineering, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah. Well, and they're disposable things in Germany, you know. Like here, like people buy cars, and they're like, okay, well, you know, I might, you know, keep this for 20 years and give it to my son. They're like, oh, you know, it's been 4 years, and I'm just going to throw it away.
Japan's the same way. That's why you can get all these JDM engines so cheap.
Oh, I know.
Japan, same thing. They hit like 100,000 kilometers or 5 or 7 years old or something like that. And the country does the exact same thing, where they'll tax the hell out of you if you want to keep your car.
What's your guys' biggest, like, let's see, like pet peeve in car culture now, or YouTube car culture? Like the thing that pisses you off the most?
That's a good topic.
I hate the vlogs that just talk about nonsense, like, and you have to sit there and filter through the car stuff. And it's like, why waste my time? Just get to the car stuff. I don't need to watch a 20-minute video of nothing.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's why I haven't started doing that yet. Like I guess what I would call vlogging. It's like it's getting close where I'm like, I don't really know what to film next, but like, and I get that part and consistent content. But when it's like, what I hate is when the video is called, you know, my girlfriend's reaction to the GTR launch control or whatever, and then it's like 30 seconds of the video's at, and the video's fucking 20 minutes long, and then the first 19 and a half minutes they're going to the gas station And it's like, oh, guess what? You're not a comedian, so you're fucking funny. Like, so it's like, what am I here for? I'm here for the cars. So it's like
clickbait.
Yeah, it's clickbait. And that's I'm really trying to stay away from that.
Think about it, because when I went Friday to that car show or whatever and rode in the C7 and stuff like that, I did kind of a little bit of vlogging before that, and then I kind of inserted bits and pieces from that in the show. Like, kind of like, oh, like, here's what's coming up or something. I don't know, I kind of just half-ass put that together. But I didn't want to get rid of the footage from the other shit that didn't result to, you know, being in the C7 or the show. Because, you know, some of it was kind of funny, some of it was kind of not. But it was just...
The problem is, I think people make them long so they can put more ads in the video so they can make more money.
Exactly.
That's the whole reason.
Honestly, I try to make them shorter if I can.
I agree. Like,
like when
rarely my
editing,
videos are over 10 minutes.
Like when I was editing, like when I edit my videos, I try to cut out like any unnecessary shit that doesn't really need to be there. Like the Corvette show, it's 17 minutes long, but I couldn't find anything else to cut out. So I'm like, I guess it has to be 17 fucking minutes long.
And that's why I said.
And then same with like the C7 ride along. It was 17 minutes, but that's because, you know, we were talking in the car about the car and other shit. Right. But it was still related to the car and the ride along.
JA and I were kind of touching on this a little bit before we went live here, but the way YouTube is working right now is the algorithm has kind of pushed a lot of people to do daily videos or more and more uploads. So the quality of their content has just completely disappeared, and now everybody's just vlogging and trying to put out as many videos as they can. Instead of making the videos that got them their subscribers in the first place. Like, I want to watch.
Thank you, Trevor.
Cars, but don't care about what you had for breakfast.
Exactly.
But the algorithm teaches people to do this to keep their channels going if you're like a full-time YouTuber. You know,
I'm trying to find that fine line where it's like, so I want to, you know, everyone here wants to be YouTube famous or internet famous or whatever. And it's like, but like, I also don't want to, I also want to be able to look at myself in the mirror at the end of the day and not be like, you piece of shit. You know? So it's like, so I'm trying not to do like clickbaity stuff, but then like everyone's like I have friends who are like, you should caption, like I reviewed a BMW M235i, and he was like, and I think the video is called like, you know, is it, or it's like BMW M235i review or something like that. And my friend's like, you should say M235i, is it as good as the M2? And I'm like, fuck you, no, I don't want to do that. Like, because that's like, it's like trying to entice. Like, I'd rather just like say, here's exactly what the video is, which is what it is, and then if people like it, good. If it takes a little longer to you know, reach my goal, whatever, fine. But at least at the end of the day, I can go, oh, I didn't go, you won't believe what happened when I drove this M235. It was like, guess what? I drove it. That's what happened. Like, you know, like,
and that's why
like I mean,
stuff and Rob Dom's stuff, because they're always exactly what they're going to talk about. And they don't bullshit, you know.
And it's not 20 minutes long.
Like,
right. Like I hate like if a video is that long that I make. Like if it's 20 minutes, I'm like, but like sometimes like the video I did of the car show that was at like the racetrack or whatever. It's long, but there really was. I mean, yeah, I could have cut the part out where it was just footage of like a little tiny like 20-second clip of us driving there, but that I could have cut that out, but for some reason my dumbass didn't. But that it still would have been probably 20 fucking minutes anyway. So it's like I couldn't really, like, honestly, I don't like making long videos, but sometimes, you know, they kind of end up being that way.
You know, it's funny when it comes to how long the videos are. I used to try really hard to keep my videos 10 minutes or less.
That's me right now, dude. I still do that.
Well, I started making them longer, and I had a lot of people commenting saying, "Hey, I really like the longer videos." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I've been trying to put more into it, so it's kind of progressed to being longer anyway. Like J.A. said, I try and cut out as much as I can, and I keep narrowing the video down more and more. But now they're closer to like anywhere from 10 to 15 to sometimes 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. But the one thing as far as I know, unless YouTube's done it on its own on something, I don't have mid-video ads. That I've been
Yeah, I
watching.
usually don't
lately,
either,
and you'll
except
get
like
3 or
on
4 ads within a 20-minute video, and it's like, oh my god, and it cuts right in the middle of some action.
Right.
It's annoying.
Yeah, like the only videos I ever really put mid video ads is like the podcast, but that's like every 30 minutes. So it's not like something like that, or maybe every hour.
It's a really long video, so it's okay. It's not a big deal. But when you have a 20-minute
video, but here's one thing I noticed though. One time in one of my, I think it was like 13-minute videos or something, YouTube put in ads, and they were in the weirdest fucking place, and I'm like,
like in the middle of a syllable that you're saying.
Yeah,
it's like someone saying about
like,
the C7 Corvette. Line Google Summer Shandy. When you need a
yeah, you have to turn it off. You can turn them off so that they don't.
Yeah, I know.
I usually.
Yeah, but like usually, like I don't even bother with it unless it's like the podcast. That's the only one like I literally go in there and make it, every 30 minutes or whatever.
I do have a question for you, Jay. How do you repost the live stream? Because
like after it's over with, like when you go in to start it, if you put it on public, like it'll actually save the replay and then re-put it back up. But I actually don't make it go public right afterwards. I count it as one of my 3 times a week uploads on a Friday, and I just put it like on scheduled. Like I put it on scheduled. Well, I put it on private first, and then I've put in like everybody's channels and stuff like that. Title it featuring blah 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 blah, and then then I put it scheduled for Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern. And that's just what I do.
Dude, you were up way too fucking late, by the way, because I just found out, I think it was yesterday or day before, that you're in Eastern time zone. And I remember, like, because it was right after the one take, you messaged me like, oh, I do this podcast. You want to come on it? And I'm like, sure. And I had been like texting you right before I go to bed, which is like, 1 midnight, something like that. And then he like responds in like 2 seconds. I'm like, so is it blah blah blah? And he's like, yeah, for sure. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I was like, by the way, where are you? He's like, oh, I'm in Maryland. I'm like, holy shit, dude, go the fuck to sleep. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
like sometimes I just can't get to sleep, and some nights, and then other nights.
Dude, I understand. Every day I wake up with a laptop on my chest.
Like sometimes I'm just trying to like catch up on videos and shit. Because like Trevor, weren't we talking about that before the podcast about like how like we keep finding more and more channels, and then we're so backed up on fucking videos, it ain't funny.
Yeah, well, it's like you guys earlier were talking about this call-out video, and I'm like, I have no clue what you guys are talking about. I'm still trying to see what Rob Ferretti is talking about flipping his Ferrari that everybody's flaming him about. Like, it's stuff like this is really cool because we get to meet you guys and you start following a bunch more channels. But then it's like, between a full-time job, my own projects, filming, wrenching, editing, YouTubing, uploading, and then watching everybody else's stuff. It's like there's not enough time in the day.
Yeah. And can I ask what everyone here does for a living? Like other than YouTube?
All I can say is YouTube for now. Because I'm still trying to find a day job.
Well, I envy you, so.
Yeah, I work for a health company. I literally sit in a cubicle all day. I work in contracting, so I have like huge screens. One screen has the other screen has videos I'm watching. So.
Yeah, and then you got the hot fingers waiting on the Control W, like I do at work, where I because that's what I have. I have 2 monitors, like one with bullshit, meaning stuff like this, and then the other one with work stuff. And then when the boss comes in, it's just Control W. Yes, can I help you? I wasn't doing anything.
I gotta remember that one. I didn't know that trick.
Yeah. So. And then you, was it Marco? Is that you?
I'm an engineer, mechanical engineer, and speaking of that, I do have to get up early tomorrow for work, so probably gonna have to end this soon here.
Yeah, we probably should. Okay. But I think there's actually one more topic that's related to the track stuff. So then it's just all those topics that I came up with for that is in this podcast.
Okay.
So the last one that I had for this podcast, well, technically I have one about autonomous cars, but that can wait for the next one. Because that would probably go way too long talking about that. What do you guys think are some of the worst racetracks in America?
Ooh. There were actually 2 in Ohio, Mid-Ohio and Nelson ledges that were horrible conditions, but both were paved this year, and actually might be going to one or both this season. So I know they were really bad, but just got repaved. I think racing and the racetracks are coming back. I think they're putting a lot of money into it, and it's getting a lot more popular. So I think they're making a comeback, fixing them up.
I'd have to say any autocross track that you go to where you're late and you've missed the walk around.
Yes, me too. God damn it, you sort of stole my thing. I was like, anyone you don't know and you're doing for the first time. That's what I was gonna say. It's the worst. Fuck this track. Yeah. No, they're all fun.
Yeah, I know
I'm sorry. Anywhere you can drive as fast as you fucking want when there's no cops is fine.
Hell yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna complain about the the road surface or the consistency. It's like, no, worst track.
Yeah, and like I don't know like what you guys normally go to autocrosses on. Like, what is like the normal area like you go to autocrosses on?
Airfield.
Like, is it like a regular track or something?
No, our area is either in like a massive parking lot somewhere or at the airport.
Yeah, airport is.
Yeah, like here it's at the Cumberland Airport is where it is around May.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering if it's an airport for everybody else or.
No, it's usually a big parking lot, and like the airport is pretty cool because you could go faster, and that's why that guy almost flipped. but
like actually, I think that was somewhere in like PA or something where he went. I'd have to ask
really?
him.
Okay. Yeah.
Because he lives in Pennsylvania somewhere.
What? No way.
Everybody's in
I got a lot of friends in PA.
Dude, we gotta have like a big YouTuber meetup or something. Just everybody here, minus the Oregon guy.
Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I'll go in the forest and talk to a tree because that's what we do here.
Just avoid the raindrops. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You're like,
avoid the raindrops means leave for 10 months out of the year.
Like a lot smaller YouTubers is like eventually like just have like create our own meetup. Because I mean, yeah, big YouTubers like Rob Spaghetti and Street Speed 717 are doing these big ones, but what about the tiny guys?
Yeah. Well, like I said, the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix, it's next Saturday. Last year there was a big YouTube meet for big YouTubers and small YouTubers. So I don't know if they're having it this year. I didn't hear anything about it yet, but
hey Marco, you should come out to the next autocross that's at the Cumberland Airport sometime.
Yeah, let me know. Maybe I will.
I think it's on the 22nd, 23rd of this month. I think is the next one.
Okay.
I think my friend Stan's gonna try to take me on the Saturday day. I think.
So there's something this Saturday for the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix. Says July 1. They're migrating. They're doing like a cruise down there to the Vintage Grand Prix, and then I guess they're watching cars go around.
Is that the Cars and Coffee or?
Yeah. So they go from Cars and Coffee down there to the Vintage.
Okay. Yep.
I'm not too familiar about all the shit that goes on in PA, and I know there's a lot of car shit that goes on in PA compared to like my area of Maryland where like there's not even a car show every weekend. It's just like this day, that day, this day, that day, that's it.
Yeah.
Like there's one Corvette show, there's 2 Mustang shows, then there's like 2 cruise-ins, one in Frostburg, one in Cumberland, and I think that there's not much. There really isn't. And I already missed the first cruise-in Cumberland. I know there's supposed to be another one in Frostburg in like September, and then another one in Cumberland in like I don't fucking remember. I got the date somewhere. But my problem is getting to them. That's my problem. Because I got to find a friend that isn't busy that wouldn't mind driving me. Until I can finally find a job and get money to get a car, which I wish would be soon. I'm tired of asking people to take me places. Not fun.
Yeah, dude, just getting something for like $500. It'll be that is something like no matter what, that's gonna be interesting. No matter what it is, if it's good or bad, it's gonna be interesting and it's gonna be video worthy.
$500 car challenge.
Oh yeah,
this car was a Mustang.
Dude, I've actually thought about doing that eventually. Like once I have a job and stuff like that, like getting a group of friends then we get like $500 cars and like try to go from like here to like, what'd be like a good place? Like 2.5 hours away or something like that would be a good distance maybe?
Come to Pittsburgh.
Dude, that's like my fucking commute every day.
Yeah,
Go
like I was
further.
thinking like Harrisburg or Pittsburgh or something like that. Like a drive from there to Pittsburgh or Harrisburg or something. In old shit boxes.
JA, get $500 cars, and when they have the cruise weekend at Ocean City, Maryland, try to make it to Ocean City, Maryland to show off your $500 cars. That'd be
dude.
Well, that probably wouldn't be too bad. It's getting out without getting a ticket that's going to be the problem.
exactly.
I can't afford tickets.
You have a mismatch hubcap, they'll give you a ticket. Trust me. They'll give you a ticket for
God. I think I'll stick to saying going to Pittsburgh.
We'll give you a DWJ, driving while janky.
I don't know, man. I know I've owned 2 $500 cars in my driving history, and
They're the best. I mean, they're not, but they are.
Like you said, Devin, it was interesting.
It builds character. It puts lead on your pencil.
They didn't last long, but they were both a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, whenever I get
like
my
some
first car, I have to
relationships.
think of something that's actually going to be reliable and get me to work every day. Also, like that's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't be like get in the car and fuck.
Mhm.
How the fuck am I going to get to work now?
Mm-hmm.
Which would not be very good because I'd pay the bills, I'd pay for the car, and
Yeah,
all
dude,
that bullshit.
just remember this. This is how I like to live. Like life is too short. I'm gonna get cheesy for a second. Life's too short to drive boring cars. I know that's been said before, but it's like, just like even if it's
True.
not the most reliable, it's like, you know, if any of us here have girlfriends, it's like it's not because it's like, oh well, she's very practical and very responsible. It's like, you know, stuff might not be ideal all the time, but when it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
So.
That's a way to put it.
Yeah.
And Marco's just like, I don't want any part of this.
New car guy.
Like a fast car. Yeah, she drinks a little bit of, she drinks a lot, but it's pretty fun. When she does.
This is what I'm working with. This was full when we started. I got home and this was new. So sorry.
Oh boy.
Holy shit. You are drunk.
Yeah.
That,
I gotta wake up at 5:45. That's okay.
that country song, tequila makes her clothes fall off, Racing
Mhm.
fuel makes her go fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Racing fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, race gas, but that's like what, $20 a gallon?
There is
I don't know, but
actually there's a fuel station probably 20 or 30 minutes away from my house where they have a pump
you guys are
for Camp 2.
Oh shit. Well, that's cool.
It's it's stupid expensive, but I'm like, one day
Yeah.
I'm driving down there and I'm filling up and going to the track.
Dude, I feel blessed. Hashtag blessed, because through work I have this fucking debit card thing that works at the those fueling stations that semi trucks use, the commercial ones, and it just comes out of my paycheck. But it's like, but you get 93 octane, 0 ethanol, and it's like
Oh, it's nice.
$2.68 a gallon.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wow.
and it's like, dude,
I'm jealous.
I mean, no brainer. Yeah, I mean, it's great. And because, dude, I see so many cars come in with burn exhaust valves from ethanol. Ethanol's horrible, by the way, for anyone watching. Like, unless your car is meant to, unless it's tuned for
if
it,
you're
it burns
built
so
and
much
tuned
hotter.
for
And
ethanol, it's fantastic, but
Yeah, you're-
otherwise it's terrible.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
We actually, around where I live, we're just now getting ethanol gas pumps at a couple of local gas stations,
Mhm.
which in turn is funny because I work in a dealership, and now all of a sudden we're getting a few phone calls that are trickling in where I filled up with this new gas pump and now it's not running right.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, weird. It's pre-detonating.
Isn't it
Yeah,
cheaper? It's cheaper, but it's less.
You used the wrong gas, jackass.
yeah, that too.
Yeah, even,
Well, I mean,
even when you're
Here's another thing. Like, what do you guys think is like because I've heard like multiple stories. Like, what's the best gas to actually use? Because I've heard, like there is
As far as the brands go,
like 87.
It depends what your own.
97.
it
Look
depends
at
on
what-
compression.
Look at what your
whatever's
owner's manual.
recommended by the manufacturer
Oh,
until you get into modifications. Then the
Yeah.
higher the boost, the higher the compression, the higher the octane rating.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you have, like, I'll make it real easy, but it's like, the higher the compression, like if you put 87 octane in a 12-to-1 compression motor, as it's compressing and it's not ready to combust yet, the lower octane is going to combust early, so you can have pre-detonation, and the engine's going to ping and it's going to run like shit. It's just going to.
And that's
Go ahead.
Right there. That's the thing that people have the misconception that they think that 91 or 92 octane, it runs cleaner, but it's not. They all run the same. The only difference, like you just said, the pre-ignition, so the higher the octane, it'll ignite when it has to ignite, not
right. It's resistance to detonation is what it is what octane is.
Launch pad before you go in, like American Pie.
Exactly.
Well, it's a big marketing scheme where you see regular, mid-grade, and premium fuel. That's not how it actually works. It's just the higher the number, the slower the fuel burns. That's a big misconception, and I hear people all the time, "Oh, I put better gasoline and I put the higher octane and it cleaned the engine out." No, it didn't.
I love that when they go. I always go to Shell, like when I tell them they got to burn exhaust valve, and I was like, it's probably from bad gas. Well, I always go to Shell. I'm like, okay, that's like saying you have arthritis in your foot and saying, I always buy my shoes at DSW. I don't give a fuck where you buy your shoes. You're treating your feet wrong. Like.
Well, some brands are considered top tier, and they're like approved by the manufacturers. So,
yes, like I think Porsche is like, or I'm sorry, is it Porsche? No, that's the oil. That's Mobil 1. Ferrari is Shell. Like that's their.
Well, it's different additives in the gasoline from the manufacturers, and like for example, we might be getting on a political topic here, but I prefer Sunoco because all the fuel from Sunoco is actually from the United States.
I didn't know that.
We used to have a Sunoco here, but they went out of business. So
is that the dinosaur?
Now we just have
Sinclair.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one here. And although the one gas station I have seen in Colorado, it's called Come and Go. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah, with a K, KUM. Yeah, dude. When I was in the military, I was stationed in North Dakota, and they had those places everywhere. And like there was one of those. There was one called Come and Go, and then there was one called the Town Pump. And I remember telling like one of my friends when we first got stationed there, I was like, "Hey, look, that's what they used to call your mom." And he was like, "What?" I was like, "The Town Pump."
Or Come and Save, huh?
Yeah.
I did a big cross country trip.
My favorite convenience store was the Come and Never Call Me Again. That was my favorite one.
Wow. About a year and a half ago, I did a big cross country trip, and I remember I got into the Midwest and I started seeing the Come and Goes, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?"
You're like, should I tell somebody?
I think this podcast is considered R.
What?
We have alcohol in the podcast. There's a couple of F-bombs, and now we're talking about Come and Go.
Time to go.
Now it's time to go.
Yeah, grab a CD real quick that has the explicit rating thing at the bottom corner, so you can push that up.
Okay, so
somebody's computer's dying.
He had to go.
Yeah.
His computer's dying, so he had to go.
Too bad.
Fuck, what was I gonna say?
Well,
Oh yeah, if you guys think this podcast is bad, try 15.
15.
That one was like rated X.
Who the fuck said it was bad? Oh, you mean bad like that? Never mind.
Yeah, it was
I was
funny.
like, what the fuck? It was
It was funny, don't get me wrong.
There's some
It was funny and enjoyable, but it's not exactly appropriate for younger audiences.
Well, if there are any younger audience members listening, I just want to say, go fuck your actual own mother. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Don't do
And
that.
hopefully you were wearing headphones.
We're all adults here.
Earlier.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right, guys.
Oh,
I'm gonna-
this guy in the comments,
Thing about
Jovo, says, "Hi, I get my gas at Come and Go."
What else?
Nice, Marco.
Ew.
Okay, but Aaron was saying y'all ain't watching the comments, but there was a lot of misinformation so far.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what he means by that.
He's talking about our gas conversation.
That doesn't sound good either.
Oh,
Misinformation?
You guys,
I think that's just a
funny,
blanket
so-
statement. I don't think he knows shit. What's our misinformation, you
Hold on.
bitch?
No shit. Shots fired. Through the comments.
you guys are gonna find this funny. Okay, so out in Ruidoso, there was this place called Flying J's, where you go out to eat barbecue, and it's kind of like eating at a ranch. You know, so they give you beans and barbecue, and you know, either chicken or beef, and then the lady goes,
Then
"Well,
you got
everybody,
plenty of gas.
you know, because everybody was eating beans." So
I'm sorry.
I lit up and started laughing because it's like, you know, gas mileage. Oh, clever. You know, because everybody's eating beans.
Okay, so what Aaron was saying in the comments was 10% ethanol won't burn out anything in a normal engine. Ethanol resists detonation. Ethanol is effectively much higher octane. The gas companies, especially Shell, Mobil, and BP, for example.
If it's high octane, is that why they call it E85? That's what I want to know. Also, I'm talking about, okay, so this is Mini Coopers and BMWs, which is what my shop works on. And those cars, yes, like German cars, they have very specific tolerances they need to meet. And when they're run on ethanol, they run like absolute asshole. Like they just do. Like, so there are flex fuel cars, there are stuff like that, but you know, that can adjust, you know, timing for stuff like that. But
oh boy, I think Aaron's getting pissed.
Got caps lock on.
He's like,
got serious.
The keyboard is smoking. He's got melted Reese's cups on his chest.
You wonder why you get negative comments.
No, I don't really wonder. I just, it's fun.
Let's see. Well, one funny thing he said was a lot of bad gas in the convo.
Wait, say that again.
He says a lot of bad gas in the convo.
Oh. Dude, my breath right now is like 98 octane. I think it's pretty good gas in the combo.
No. That's not ethanol. That's alcohol. That's what the dragsters run on. You got to get it right.
Exactly.
You got some high-ass octane up in there.
Yeah.
Aaron was saying ethanol doesn't burn valves in normal cars. Shell is top-tier provider, different levels of gas, different additive packs, and different cleaning power. Ethanol resists the destination. God, I can't say all this at once. Jesus Christ. I don't have enough breath for that shit. Resist destination, it doesn't cause. It is effectively 110 octane gas. That's the percentage of the fucking ethanol. That's how he put it. He put it on all caps and exclamation points. 85% ethanol, not fucking octane. And he says, you are so full of it. The cars are designed to run on E10 ethanol. The entire U.S. market is E10 gasoline. Of course, they can properly run on it. XD, whatever the XD means. I don't really
Isn't that like a type of emoji, the XD? Isn't that like a I'm laughing so
Yeah,
hard my fucking eyes are closed? Yeah.
So, you know, actually, the funny thing
here,
is,
I have something here for that guy.
Hold up. There's one more
go
comment
ahead.
from him. Let me say it real quick. The last comment he says is, if you don't run premium gas in a high compression engine, then yes, the car will retard
the timing.
TIMIG.
The timing?
Will retard. I think he means timing, but it says TIMIG. Retard TIMIG and run like shit. Most gasoline at pumps is E10, E85 if you are running an ethanol tune or you have flex fuel car only.
That's what, isn't that what the fuck I said? Hey, by the way, I just found something that's relevant. Here's a list of people who give a fuck.
Oh, this is getting bad.
So,
So,
all right,
the
guys,
funny
I'm
thing is,
going to actually take off here.
All right, see you later, Marco.
So is this going to be ending here?
Probably soon.
Should I start this thing? I'm going to place this thing right here.
Dude, Martin, you're in the woods. I feel like I'm about to watch Blair Witch #3 or something.
No, I think he's going to start the vet.
You know, he's got the perfect angle right there, too, with the snot dripping out of those. Like, I'm so scared right now.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And there's going to be a guy peeing in the corner.
I think we missed the startup because we were laughing.
Sorry. I hear it. I hear it idling.
Yeah. He either needs a louder exhaust or a bigger mic.
I'm blinded by the license plate lights right now.
That's the Blair Witch coming after you.
It is.
That's the last thing you see.
Wow, the Blair Witch sounds a lot like 1.9% finance for 72 months.
Okay, Aaron, you don't have to be a fucking douchebag. He's
That
like,
sounds a lot like
listen. He said this in the comments. He says also it's a car talk or it's a car podcast. If it had any viewers, they would give a fuck. Well, fuck you too.
Well,
we had viewers earlier.
Yeah, well, tell him when tell him to tell all his viewers when they want to tune in for hot ethanol talk that he has their full and captive attention. I love when people who are like, you go to their channel and they have like 3 favorite videos and no uploaded videos. They go, you know what you should really do is blah blah blah. It's like it's like a homeless guy coming up to you and telling you, you know how you should design your house. It's like, bitch, you don't have a house. So how about you?
Well, he has more subscribers than I do, and
oh,
I don't think he has more videos. But
he's probably had his account since 2006, and it's just by accident.
By accident.
No, he actually does upload.
Fuck. Stop shitting on my point.
We might
now he's bragging. I have over 50K views on my car vids.
We might have to do one of these.
Well, I have 80K. Hey, so speaking of call-outs, I would love to invite this guy to the suburbs of Oregon, and then we can go to the track that's right by my house where they have 60-mile-an-hour carts. And so I don't care what he drives. I don't care if he drives a fucking 800 horsepower pro street car. Let's just get in carts, and I don't care if you weigh less than me. You probably do. I'm about 215, and we'll just see who's quicker around the track. We'll get in the same fucking little lawnmower powered thing. How about that for a call out? I don't care about how much you fucking spend on your car. Let's see who's a better driver.
Who are we talking
about?
That?
I don't know. Some angry commenter with melted butterfingers on his chest laptop. Like,
he's in the comments.
Yeah. The justice lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
This is just getting a little ridiculous, but I do have to say it kind of sparks an interest, and maybe we all need to drink one of these live streams and see how ridiculous it gets by the end.
For sure.
Trevor, send me some beer then.
That would be fun.
Hey, but shit. JA, can I call you JA? Is that cool? If you want, I have a spare do you know what a flip camera is? It's like pre GoPro. It's like
that was that thing that was really cool for like 2 minutes in 1999.
Yes, I was gonna say if you wanna send me, you have my email now. If you want to send me your address, I have one. It works perfectly great. I will send it to you because I know so I have 3 cameras. I have a GoPro and then 2 semi-shitty ones. But just having a second camera, for your channel is huge because you can record at the same fucking time and do you can do 20 minutes and get 40 minutes instead of 20 minutes and get 20 minutes. So if you just send me your address just for having me on, I will send you this perfectly working camera that shoots. I think it's 720. I don't think it's 1080, but I'll send it to you because I can ship shit.
It's better than the other tiny camera that I had. The other tiny camera I had was like it filmed in standard definition, and it was like the square like this, and
okay,
looked like dog shit.
Did you wind it up like this?
Same aspect.
No.
Okay.
No,
well, not bad.
Sorry, I'm interrupting everybody over here, but I was going to say that hopefully by the time I actually upload this first video that I worked on with the Infinity and how to fix the cruise control, it'll look all right. Considering I'm using just my iPhone, that's all I'm using. That's all I got over here.
Dude, the iPhone's a great camera. Like no one talks about that. It's a fucking great. I use it for my outside shots all the time. It's fucking great.
I'm using. I have an iPhone 7 Plus, so I'm using this to film and to edit. So that's the way I'm going to start.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't have a computer yet. I don't have none of that stuff. I don't have. So that's all I got, and I have a selfie. So that's how I'm
I
starting.
got an idea. How about this? Let's end the podcast, and then if we want to continue talking, we can do that.
Sure.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Car Talk podcast. Definitely check out some of my other ones. And see you guys next video.